physical. It's time to talk some this and more. We gonna talk about it all. DVD, CD, UHD, VHS, books, Blu-ray. Who knows, maybe you'll even see the laser disc today. Let's get physical. We wanna talk some physical media. Movies and TV, music and more. Come check out what we have in store. This is the media house stream. It's time for some physical media on FanZcene.
I know it was like really popular because it like won some Oscars and whatever, but
Jimmy does that.
Yeah, it's got the Mighty Ducks guy. Got that guy.
No! Yes, but no! He's not the Mighty Ducks guy! It's Emilio Estevez! For the Gremlins! You can never have enough physical media.
True, so true. You can never have enough physical media. Well, hello, welcome, fellow followers, back to the Physical Media Show here on FanZcene. I hope you all had a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, because it just so happened that Christmas fell on Wednesday and New Year's Day fell on Wednesday on the day we do the show. But with me tonight is Runner, Tom, and of course we have Rookie here. If you're wondering what's going on, Rookie has not watched it. Tom.
I haven't watched anything this week, so I'm just going to be organizing my movies.
It's already a new year.
Yeah.
New Year.
I'm ready to give up.
If I had a bottle of beer right now, man, I'd.
Oh yeah.
cheers.
I thought I'd start with spring cleaning, the 1st of January. Why not? I think it fits.
So, the Rook has decided, since he has not watched anything or brought anything, he's just going to rearrange his movie shelf while we talk tonight.
Yeah.
So,
First thing is locating all the missing discs that aren't in their cases.
Oh my God, Rook! He doesn't even have them in the case.
That happens to me once in a while, and it's like,
that's not it.
And I lose one disc out of like a set. It pisses me off.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But it's always because it's on some spindle somewhere from back in the day when burning discs like crazy.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I'm normally pretty careful when it comes to that stuff.
Oh, I've gotten a lot better.
Yeah, Runner, you're new though, so like it happens as you go along.
I guess. But
there's the Spartacus one from all the way back then when I watched that. So yeah,
the
clean that a little.
Oh my God!
Is it the Kubrick Spartacus or the show?
The Kubrick.
Okay.
Yeah,
the Kubrick's good. I like the Kubrick Spartacus.
the show's good too.
I heard the show's good. I haven't given it a chance yet.
Very different style of approach, but both are good.
Oh, of course. I've seen clips of the show. I haven't given it a chance yet. I'm not a huge TV show guy. That's the problem.
That makes sense. Yeah, longer.
I'm more of a movie guy.
Yeah, get in, get out, boom.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm looking for Dracula.
No wonder you don't get any dates.
I know. It's sad.
Who do you think keeps on messing up all my movies, huh?
You know what, Rook? You know what's the Dracula type movie you should be watching that's in theaters right now?
Nope.
Oh my God.
That kicks off our physical media news because.
Yep. I heard that too.
Let's say hi to the chat real quick, and then we'll get right into that because Rook's already taken up too much of our time.
Yep, you're welcome. 3 and 1.
He doesn't even know what Nosferatu is.
He's Rookie. What can you say?
No, but
welcome, Random Brad. Hey to you. Happy New Year. Hell, FKHC 2005. Glad to have you with us. Davina Duckworth is in the chat. Hello, Davina Duckworth. Glad to see you out there with us tonight. Hell to you, Brian Barth. What's up, Cowabunga dude? Hell to you, Dragonzilla. What is up, Tim Hayes? Glad to see you in the chat as always. Uncle Remus. It's a zippity doo dah New Year. Hope you're having a good one. Happy New Year to you. Let's see who else we got. We got Style Section. Happy Physical Media. Yes, Happy Physical Media. It's all good. Let's see who else we have. We have Snowdub. What's up, Snowdub? Glad to see you. Where's it at? I seen it. I seen it here. Oh yeah. Who's plans on getting cassettes in 2025 from? And Tim Hayes says maybe. It depends. There are some people you have gone back to the retro media. They have started releasing cassettes and VHSs again, but it's a niche within the niche, so you have to have that stuff, But we also have Bruce Leroy. What's up, Show Enough? Glad to have you with us. Hello, Corley and Rogue. Happy New Year to you. Glad to have you with us. Tyrell72. Happy New Year and live long and prosper. Excuse me. And then we have Anthony Draven. Hell, Anthony Draven. Glad to have you with us tonight. Make sure I'm getting everybody here. I think we're about all caught up. Yes, and then we do have a members chat from Tim Hayes. It says, "Hell, Greg." Well, how do you, Tim Hayes? Glad to have you with us, and glad to have you have a member of the channel for 28 months. I truly appreciate that, and I give you thank you very much for being a member of the channel. Yes, but there we are. Yes, and Happy New Year. There we are. Everybody, I'm all cut up. Let's get to the physical media news real quick if you want to, because I know, speaking of Nosferatu, we got some news on that front for the 4K.
Yeah, Robert Eggers teased us with an extended cut for the release, and it appears that we're getting an extended cut for that, so looking forward to that. We're also getting Deep Star 6 in 4K from Kino Lorber.
He's coming.
She's coming now.
No kidding.
Yeah.
And
then we're getting Paul in 4K.
Oh,
can't remember who was, but no.
What about Steve?
I think it's Kino Lorber, right?
Seth Rogen as an alien was horrible. I'm sorry, I did
didn't
not
hate
like that
movie, but yeah, I don't know if I can watch it.
That's the one
now.
with Simon Pegg and Nick Frost, right?
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah.
Go ahead, Tom.
I mean, I know it's not
watch it
directed
now.
by Egger, right?
Yeah.
So it's probably not as good as the Cornetto trilogy movies, but
It's not.
Speaking of Nosferatu, I guess that's out of print now through Kino Lorber, and to get your hands on a copy, that's not
Really?
cheap. You know what?
Oh, man.
I can't really recommend that version anyway. The version I recommend is actually the BFI import, but I think it might be region locked. So, yeah. But we're also getting Ray on 4K, which was rumored before, but now we got it official. Ray being the Ray Charles movie, but with
Jamie Foxx.
Jamie Foxx.
yeah.
Then we're getting Black Sheep and Tommy Boy, which we already knew about Tommy Boy, but Black Sheep is coming from Kino. General's Daughter, also from Kino. A lot of Kino titles.
I saw that.
And I think that's it. I don't think there was much else.
Vinegar Syndrome released theirs. The biggest one
I didn't
they
see that.
Yeah, the biggest one they have is they're releasing Virtuosity on 4K.
That.
Okay.
I like that movie. I'm sorry, I do. It's like a Nick Cage movie without Nick Cage. And
You
they're
know,
both
I started watching that movie like a month or so ago, and I haven't finished it.
I know it's
so-
not for everybody, and it's definitely not the best Denzel movie, but I love it.
It's so weird. Like,
It is.
I don't know.
It's a Nick Cage movie without Nick Cage.
I mean, you have two fucking great actors in it, and it's just like, it's not the kind of performances or roles I'm like used to them being in, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've seen them in other great movies, you know.
Well, this was, I believe it was, what's his name's first American movie, Russell Crowe's first American movie, and it was Denzel. He was kind of at a lull in his career, wasn't where he was, he wasn't like down and out, but he wasn't like,
no, he was like
it was like
super
an
young.
in between type movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he was like really young.
But yeah, that was like the biggest from Vinegar Syndrome, and it's like the other movies are like cult, like rare, obscure. I've never even heard of them type movies. But yeah, I think that's it, Tom. I think everything you listed was it.
I think so.
I have a question. How'd they come up with the name of Vinegar Syndrome?
Vinegar Syndrome is actually what it's called when a film starts to turn like yellow, because it's and I think it got that name because it starts to smell like vinegar, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
And
Okay.
so, yeah, they call it Vinegar Syndrome. It's when a movie gets old.
It sounds like a heavy metal rock band or something.
It kind of does. You're not wrong.
Yeah. I'll watch this one of these days, FanZcene. Don't you worry.
Happy birthday.
Oh, yeah.
Brian Bart, there's two rooks. There you go, the Cornetto trilogy.
Oh yeah, I have that set.
There's two rooks because Rookie,
That's
is
me.
just here to be here. And he's
That's me.
got his camera set up to where you can look at him, organize the shelf while we talk, and the top one is so you can hear him. So there's no echo or feedback. Just
Yep, so
you
I
know.
can say my silly stuff. You're welcome.
Yes. And then Snow Dub blames Tom and Vic for getting him hooked on steelbooks. So,
Oh, I have a steel book that I'm going to show.
well, let's go right into it. Since you got the most tonight, let's start with you. Runner.
All right, let's do it. I
love the
just watched
ratatouille
this
on their
one. I just finished this one like 30 minutes ago, and I watched it like a year and a half ago because it's one of my mom's favorite movies, and I can totally see why. I love it even more after rewatching it, and I got it in the mail last night along with other movies, and that is Stand By Me.
Oh, nice. Now, what happened to your camera? You were brighter earlier.
Yeah, what the fuck? And am I
Yeah,
inverted
really
too?
dark. No, it's all. It looks fine.
Oh, that's because I'm on full screen on StreamYard. That's why. There you go. You got better lighting now.
There you go. That's a good movie. I love that movie. That's the 4K Steelbook.
Yeah, it's the 4K Steelbook.
Nice.
There you go. From Sony Pictures. There's the iconic train sequence.
It's a great movie. It really truly is a great movie.
It's so good. I love it. It's such a good movie.
Here's your question for you. Any extras? Yeah, I think that comes with a lot of extras.
It does come with extras. It comes with the commentary by I think it was Rob Reiner and then like 2 of the 4 actors of like the main cast.
Corey Feldman.
I know one of them's Will Wheaton.
Will Wheaton.
Yeah, it's either Corey Feldman or
I think Corey Feldman did it. I think he did it.
Maybe
it's the
Corey...
2 you don't want to hear from.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like
you want to hear from Jerry O'Connell, you want to hear from River Phoenix, but sadly he's dead.
I was gonna say I'd rather hear from Jerry O'Connell personally. Plus, like, and yeah, it makes me sad that fucking River Phoenix is not with us. It fucking sucks because I watch movies like this or like anything he's in, and I'm just like, fuck, that guy could have been a fucking big movie star.
He was on his way, man. It's sad. I often wonder if he would be doing some of the stuff his brother's doing. And I don't mean like Joker.
No, I mean,
like some of the other stuff.
The first Joker's good. Second one is piece of shit.
Yeah. Or maybe I should say more similar to Johnny Depp. Probably some of the stuff Johnny Depp did.
I was gonna say I feel like
he was really good friends with him.
Yeah. He was also
he was in
Keanu
young
Reeves.
Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. I believe Keanu Reeves and Johnny Depp were with him the night he died.
Oh shit!
Because they were all at the same bar. No, he died of drugs. So.
By the way, I totally forgot I even had this, but I got this when I saw the fucking Joker sequel.
It comes with a cum rag?
Yeah. I got it for free because I got invited to like an early screening of it from the school I go to, and of all the things I've seen early, that might have been the worst movie I've seen. And I even told like my friend that I invited, and for some reason he liked it, and I was just like, that is one of the worst fucking movies I have seen. Like that is the only bad movie I've seen.
He's telling you something.
and he's like, no, don't be so dramatic. I'm like, no, this movie shit sucks. It damn near ruins the first one. But I'm not gonna get into that.
But so Stand By Me. No.
Yeah, Stand By Me. Yeah,
Stand By Me.
Talk a little bit about that before we move on.
I don't know. Look, I have no idea.
I know Greg and Tom have seen it, but have you seen it, Rook?
I think I have. The 4 boys go on an adventure to poke a dead body.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
The basic Tom.
Rook
Well, I
is
mean,
like
to
AI
describe it in the
describing
least-
movies badly.
To describe it in the least substantive way, yeah, like that.
No, but like, they
Everybody go poke a
There's like
buddy. Let's go.
4 young boys go on an adventure. They go outside of the norm and they grow as people and come out better,
Not even close.
confronting the bully or something. I
Well,
forget
he's
what
kind
happened.
of getting right, but it's getting better.
you're kind of getting it right, but like,
Yeah, I got pieces. I remember they like bought candy bars at one point,
the thing
and
that-
there's a gun because like a bully is an asshole, and when they find the body, they're like, "Whoa, crazy."
Suck my fat one.
I think I was like 12 when I saw it. Yeah, I don't know. So like, it was one of those ones that's on. I don't remember much of it.
Oh my god. Stand By Me is like one of the quintessential.
Nobody believes in moons and goochers.
I know.
Who's in Waters? I don't remember that.
you
my
remember
God,
the
that's a
leeches,
pain.
Greg? Not
Yes, I
Greg.
remember the leeches.
No, not Greg. Rook. I'm sorry.
Boom,
I've
baba, boom,
been
baba.
drinking a little bit. I'm sorry.
The Leechers, is that like a Stranger Things villain or something?
Oh my
Oh my
fucking
God.
god.
I feel like most of the time we talk to Rook, Rook says something, and then everybody says, "Are you fucking serious?" or "Oh my god."
God, even I'm like that, and I'm fucking younger.
Yep.
This is how bad it is. I remember the dead kid's name, Ray Brower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
there you go.
Teddy
It's one of those
Duchance.
classics. Mm-hmm.
Chris.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And
Mhm.
you never
And
have friends.
Vern.
And I totally forgot.
Verno. Come on, Vern.
Yeah.
And I totally forgot that fucking John Cusack played Will Wheaton's brother in the
Oh, yeah.
flashbacks.
Just two of your favorites right there, Will Wheaton and John
Danny.
Cusack.
But I'm like, I'll be honest though. Like at that time, it's like, yeah, they almost kind of look alike. Like they could
Chris
be brothers.
Chambers.
Yes.
So I think casting wise, that was pretty good.
No, it's back then nobody cared about Will Wheaton or John Cusack. Nobody thought ill of them. It's when they
No.
started talking, and then now you're like, ugh.
Yeah.
You know?
Corey Feldman, I've got some issues with that I'm not even
Yes.
getting into here.
I know about that as well. Yeah.
Motherfucker can keep making a fool out of himself trying to be a musician.
We still talking about Stand By Me?
Yeah, Rook, we do not care about your games.
It's for the audience, not for you. It's okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
Stop being my
I mean,
kid.
See what I'm doing.
okay, you got GTA 5. That's cool.
I don't think I've even played it yet, actually. It's kind of funny.
What?
Oh my god.
You haven't played
Do you think he would be playing his games as much as he watches his movies, man? Do you really think?
I'm not really much of a gamer, really, either, you know?
Oh man.
You ever notice how big Annette's tits are getting lately? Yeah, the A and the E are starting to curve around the sides. If I could have one food for the rest of my life, easy. Pez. Cherry flavored Pez.
Gross. That
That's a good
sounds
question. What the
scary.
hell is Goofy?
cherry flavor. Ew.
Oh god, and that's become a debate even to this day.
He can't be a dog. He wears pants and drives a car.
Pluto, about Pluto, man.
Well, and there's some people who believe he's actually a cow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I know. Because
Or
his
to be more
girlfriend is
specific,
also
a bull. Yeah.
Yeah, bull. Which is funny because the cow actually has horns.
Because he's gullible.
Look, even though his son looks less like him. Yeah. Davina, some people do rip their Blu-rays and store them and put them on their own like little server they have. So, some people do that. But anyway,
Kind of funny. My son's looking more like Pete every day. What was that, Goof?
But no, Stand By Me, it's a good here's the thing. Here's the thing with Stand By Me that's crazy. The way Rook described it earlier is the way I feel like you could describe it, but it doesn't really help it so much. There's a
It's
lot more-
accurate, but I didn't give any detail that's made it sound interesting. I did it the most simple, boring
Exactly.
It
description
was
possible.
basically the way AI describes shit.
Well,
Yeah.
exactly. I feel like that's how other people would describe it, but the thing is there's a lot more layers to it.
There's like character, there's adventure, there's kids and friends and growing up and stuff.
Coming of age story.
There's
One of the
exactly coming of age story. There's relatability to it.
It's their last summer as boys.
Exactly. There's emotion to it.
Before they transition to girls.
no before they become like
That's right.
adults and you move before they like come onto that age where you're no longer a kid, but you're not old enough to be a teenager yet.
Before tax season. Yeah, I got you.
Your friends kind of
Yeah.
start to drift away at the end of the summer, where because you never have those type of friends again when you get older.
Yeah.
That's the whole like point of the story.
Yeah.
It's highly relatable.
Well, what's
There's-
sad
Go ahead.
is the book begins with all of the kids dead except for him.
Yeah, it's good old
Oh.
Stephen King.
Yeah.
So there's like
That's
a
the
battle in the
whole
book.
thing. No, like each one of them has a horrible death except for what's
Yeah,
his face, the main character. Yeah,
Who ends up becoming a writer just out of the blue.
yeah.
Yeah.
all the
Richard Gere-
time.
Because Chris dies the same way, right? Like, because in the movie they say Chris got killed trying to break up a fight. He got stabbed in the neck. That happens in the book. Well, then, Jerry O'Connell's character dies in a fucking apartment fire. And then I think Teddy, he went to jail, and then I can't remember what happened to him afterwards. But yeah, that's how the book starts out or ends. I can't remember which. But it like goes through all the kids and what that happened to him, and then because in the story itself, it's pretty much verbatim.
Mhm.
The only real difference is like I said, the ending and the ending part is just like how I think it's at the end where he just kind of tells everybody what happened to everybody.
Mhm.
And then he doesn't really like his brother in the book all that much because he's living in the shadow of his brother.
Right.
Other than that, it's almost exactly the same. Like there's just very small variances and differences here and there, but the kids are all pretty much the same. The story is pretty much the same, like down to the story beats and everything. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
trying to remember if there's anything they really missed, and I don't think so.
I think like the biggest change is where it's set in the movie. I mean, I think it's
Yeah,
called the
yeah.
same like Castle Rock, but it's not Maine. It's it's in the South, I believe, in the movie.
In the movie, it is Castle Rock.
I know it's
I
called
don't
Castle
know.
Rock.
I'm trying to remember in the book too or not because
It's been a long time since I've read The Body.
I think it is one of the Castle Rock stories.
Yeah, it's set in Castle Rock, and it's
But
called
I mean,
Castle Rock in the
yeah.
movie, but it's not. I
Yeah,
don't
I'm
think
trying to
movie
remember in
it's
the
Maine.
book,
It's
yeah.
not Maine in the movie, but I think in the book it's Castle Rock, Maine. You know what I'm saying?
No, it's set in Maine.
I know the story, but it's the movie set in Maine.
No,
I
I mean
always
the book
thought it-
is too. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what it says
yeah.
here anyway.
Well, I know that. Yeah, I was just because I always thought that there was something about the way because he calls it Castle Rock, and then his thing because like production company is named Castle Rock. Reiner's is.
Yeah,
Yeah, but I thought like it wasn't Castle Rock, Maine in the movie. It was Castle Rock something else. I don't know.
I don't even think they ever say in the movie itself. I was getting you flip-flopped here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
I'm not sure. I know there's something to do with it because I remember that was like
I don't think they shot it in Maine anyway.
No,
I think it was
they
shot in
didn't shoot it in Maine.
California, but yeah.
yeah. Something.
I mean,
something
the movie
about
is kind of like the aesthetic of it, from my understanding, is that the movie is kind of a combination of the book and Rob Reiner growing up. And that's where like some of like the stuff comes from, because otherwise, like, but that was just because Rob and Steven, being of the same generation,
Mhm.
had the same kind of upbringing. So like, I don't think really much else changed other than that.
Yeah,
But yeah,
not much of it has changed. But it's a good movie. Now, real quick, Runner. Did you grow up watching this movie, or is this movie newer to you?
Oh, I saw it like a year or two ago for the
I was
first
gonna say
time.
because like
with
me
my
and
mom.
Tom grew up watching this
So
movie. We
I
saw
didn't
it
grow.
as kids.
I didn't grow up watching it. No.
Okay, because it hits different. It literally does hit different when you see it as a kid growing up, and then
Yes.
you're watching it as an
No,
adult.
No, that's true. That's true. I get that.
So which means Rookie would probably hate it.
I always called it Goonies for grown-ups.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, me too.
I
Well, I
can
never
see
thought
that.
of that, but I can. Yeah.
I was gonna say I grew up with the Goonies for sure. I grew up with that movie, not Stand By Me.
Mm-hmm.
Stand By Me was like later. in comparison for sure.
I mean, there was a time like I said when we was growing up, it's like we had Goonies, Monster Squad, Stand by Me. It's like all these movies that are very similar. The one movie too with River Phoenix is in it as well.
Explorers or whatever.
Explorers, yes, Explorers. Like we had all
kids
those
aren't pussies.
Yeah, they aren't pussies at all. And it was always like it's like always the coolest kids are cool. Even like when they were supposed to be like really nerdy kids that are like you see them and you're like, man, those kids are just cool regardless. So it was a special time. It was a special time. They don't make stuff like that nowadays. I mean, I do believe Stranger Things sort of captured a little bit of that in the first season, but after that, which I do like the show, but after that, it became more modern. I mean, when you start adding in gay characters and stuff like that,
when it gets more popular too.
Yeah, it's more popular. Gay characters, modern things slip in. They completely lost.
They're trying to get even. I think they try to get more people, so we need to do more things that are more different. And it's like, just keep doing what you're doing.
I mean, the first season really captured that essence of those movies I just listed.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
That you really felt the modernness slip into the show.
Yeah, like I still think the overall show is good. It's just like the first season is still like the best.
I mean, yeah, you can watch that first season and you really feel like you're watching like a Goonie-esque type show.
Yeah, exactly.
But anyways,
that's how I feel about Cobra Kai in a similar light. It's like the first season was like fucking perfect, kind of like Stranger Things, and then like all the other seasons for the most part are pretty good, but they haven't captured.
They do lower in quality. They keep on trying. It feels like they're trying to stretch it out all the time, and then it's like, man, you could have just like kind of really sharply rounded out a lot of stories, but you drag them out, and it just feels like really lame. Longer it goes.
And now, like they're doing the one part of the season and then the second part, and they're not going to release the third one till
instead of doing a weekly release, they're spacing it out, which is kind of worse than binging altogether or weekly.
Yeah.
It feels weird. This pace, I don't like the pace.
It's weird.
Question though for you guys especially for a movie setup here. So I'm gonna have a couple of like movie series on this shelf here. I'm gonna have some other stuff here too, but for display purposes, I assume you normally would have it facing out like this. But my head goes, but shouldn't it be this way to like hold the discs out and stuff? How do you guys display it?
Of physical media.
What do you think?
That's optional too. I have it the other way around on my shelf.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, where it's either one of the
only
covers out.
You can do it where you can pull it off to the I mean, the reason why I have it that way that you're having on it right now, just because the artwork's kind of cool, and I like seeing the artwork. But
we got from VHS Mikey, it says art out. Davina Duckworth says whatever looks best. Dubba Fett says spines facing out for me. So.
Yeah, I'm thinking because on the shelves below, like there's going to be maybe two shelves where I might have the art out because like there's for the series that are fatter and have more pictures on there. The rest will all be the normal position for discs and stuff. So I might do that, like to have the rest will all be like this, but on two shelves have the ones that have more art on there. Well, yeah, but you guys were giving me shit on my setup here, so I'm like, well, all right, how would you fix it? Movie people.
No, I mean, giving you shit that looked. Now you're fixing it up. Now that's not. We don't need to give you shit over that.
That's exactly. We're giving you shit because it just looked like.
That one. Oh, look at me! Oh, whoop-de-doo! I got all this room for my physical media. Ooh.
That's a good point, Tom.
Should I put him out or should I face him the other way? Oh,
I've got so much room to work with. I don't know what to do.
So much space. I can get so many activities done.
Jeez, and where do I put the pamphlet that came with it and the whole list of the movies on there? My goodness.
Slide it in the box.
I was gonna say.
Oh, fit in the box. Oh. These were like taped on the side when I got it, so like I didn't actually try
right? VHS Mike must be nice having all this fucking room.
Exactly.
I got movies stacked on top of each other and shit.
Same over here. I got boxes in the floor. I got a box in the floor over there.
Oh, don't even get me started on fucking boxes on the floor, Greg.
Nice.
Exactly right. I got this little shelf over here with just DVDs, and I got my Blu-rays, 4Ks over here, VHS over here, box on the floor here, box on the floor. I got to clean this shit up in here.
Honestly, that's half the reason why I don't have so much shit watched anymore is because my newer films are getting so discombobulated. I didn't run out of room because I got to get this other shelf up, and it's just a a mess.
I-
So
I have a
know.
whole pile of shit that I still need to watch.
I've been meaning to organize my stuff for a while as well, to be honest with you, because I really need to set. Because I'm starting to stack them on top of each other, and I don't like that. I don't want them stacked on top of each other.
same.
Like
I got
that.
a bunch stacked on top of my entertainment center and my end table and shit, and I got like boxes full, and there's more boxes behind my couch. I'm like, I've got boxes that I still haven't gotten movies out of the box in years now at this point.
Yeah,
I'm just
Yeah,
running out of
boxes for
room.
boxes.
Exactly. I like if we're gonna buy, just put it on a lazy Susan, have it spin around. There you go.
Not a bad idea, but they fly out.
Yeah, that's when you get, because sometimes you start
Get
spinning
some
it.
smart ass kid comes in and just goes, wee! It's like, yeah, fuck that.
Just buy a bigger house, Martin says.
I'm trying, but I don't have any money.
I know we're poor.
I
YouTube
buy
doesn't
too
pay
much
us nothing.
physical media, and then I'm broke.
Exactly.
Something's got to give sooner or later here. You can pry my fucking physical media out of my cold dead hands.
Exactly. Oh, it was good.
So we've gotten to one movie so far in 30
Yeah.
minutes.
30 minutes.
We're doing pretty good with having so little movies to choose from. We're doing pretty good.
All right,
Yeah.
what's
we're
going
also
on here?
also the other part we're also talking about Rookie's setup thing that he
Yeah,
got
that can be our in between. You guys can go, hey,
He's
move that,
distracting us.
move those movies over there.
Yeah.
But no, not that movie. Put a different one. Or
Don't put
something.
it up
He's
there.
gonna He's going to start doing something sooner or later to piss us off. I can see it
I
already.
know, because
Yeah.
you can already see he's putting his box set together. Sooner or later, he's going to have like Dumb and Dumber next to like an action.
Oh, it's
movie.
cute. It's cute. You think I've Dumb and
Like-
Dumber.
Yeah, well, I should have known better.
Yeah.
How many of these are your sister's movies?
Yeah, exactly.
None this time. In fact, let me see. One, oh, that one dropped on the floor. Somewhere over there. Oh, here it is. There you go. There you go. Gift from her. So there you go. So
Yeah.
my movie now. It's my movie.
Still in
movie.
the plastic.
Yep. Well, that's from Christmas. And I still haven't watched Oppenheimer yet. So sorry, Runner.
God, you're unbelievable.
Yep. I got the saddles. That's mine now, not my sister's. Okay. I got my Seven Samurai. I've shown y'all before.
Oh,
got my
Period.
Oz. I'm figuring out where to put them all now. I'm going to like a Blu-ray shelf over here. Sort of made them different heights because of all the different movies are bigger than the Blu-rays, like the normal Blu-ray size. So yeah. Anyway.
this is a good idea. Luckily I don't have mine around water, and I don't live by like water, but that is actually a good idea for like waterproof bins just in case.
That is pretty
Yes.
good.
But Runner, any final words on Stand By Me, and then we'll move on.
I don't have really many final words. Great movie. I loved it more even watching it or rewatching it, that is. So yeah, so it's a classic.
Yes, sir. All right, Tom, if you want to go ahead, go next. It's up to you. If not, I can go because I know you got like 2 and I got 2. So
What is the deal with physical media?
there you go.
I finally got through season 3. I really don't have much to bring on this week, guys. I apologize. So that's why I
It happens.
cheaped out and brought this on. But I got sucked into that show Goliath with Billy Bob Thornton from a couple of years back. So that's why part of the reason why I don't have much this week. But no, solid season. I mean, this has still got to be one of the best looking TV shows on 4K, and that's a travesty considering it's fucking Seinfeld.
Right?
Wait, who released it though?
Sony.
Okay, that's why. There you go.
Because yeah, they've taken care of this show. It's probably their most popular show of all time. So they're like, they
It's
threw out a
Seinfeld, the one that's like, what's the deal with grapes? Or is that like Friends or something?
fucking A rook.
I mean, they sound similar, so I actually don't know.
Dude, I was drinking water. Why do you got to do that?
Friends is so fucking gay in comparison to Seinfeld.
I couldn't tell the difference. I didn't really watch it either.
Oh my god.
Oh God. Oh. Tom, go ahead.
No, I can't anymore. I'm just fucking. I can't just. He did not just compare Friends to Seinfeld.
Wait. When you want to talk about a movie, but you got to deal with the rookie.
Next thing you know, he'll be comparing Full House to All in the Fucking Family or some shit. Well, they got families in it, don't they?
They lived in the house.
I watched Married with Children, back then. That was pretty fun.
Oh, fuck.
That's not even the same. That's not even what he was talking about.
I know. I'm trying to bit them off. Planet of the
I
Apes
think
next to
Brightburn-
Pirates of the Caribbean. There you go. Okay.
I think Brian Barth, he disappoints us all. I
What's your favorite? Was there like a funny scene in Seinfeld?
Well, this season has some famous episodes in it anyway. The Pez dispenser episode.
Mhm.
Let's see, what else did it have?
No, I'm being hyperbolic. Isn't there? I've seen clips of that seem pretty good. There's like, I don't know if it was from Seinfeld again. I'm sorry, I don't know the difference between them. So it's like,
Well, there is
there's
a
one where like
difference in a sense that-
the orange band, and he's like, I don't want to wear it. Oh, but you donated. You should wear the thing. He's like, I don't want to wear it. I don't know which show that's from.
That's
But,
Seinfeld. Yeah. So what Seinfeld
okay, yeah.
is not so much about who's fucking who and will they, won't they all the goddamn time. It's basically Seinfeld's life, right?
Mhm.
They just took his daily life and they just made a show out of it. And in the process of it became a show that's literally about nothing. And when they say this, it's kind of just a funny way of saying it doesn't really have a standard plot. It's like four neurotic friends who live in New York.
It kind of
Right.
sounds like how a comedy TV show should kind of be in a way.
Oh God, it's brilliant. It's a great show. I mean, I wish I'd watched it when it was on more often. I mean, when it was on, I was a little young yet too, so that doesn't help. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
but there's some pretty good episodes in it in this season here. There was even a 2-part episode mid-season where Jerry meets Keith Hernandez and Elaine starts dating him and shit.
Yeah.
He's a famous baseball player. Nobody knows who. Yeah, no, this is a pretty decent season. I think this is one of the last seasons that Larry David was working on it, though, too.
I was gonna say, within a little bit of it, like it was Seinfeld's life, but a little bit with a little Larry David mixed in the beginning, anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
that's what I remembered.
I can't remember if it was the next season he leaves or if it's 5th season, but yeah.
Yeah.
But no, it's a great show. This is also the season where they had the Kramer painting.
Oh yeah, I remember that. I haven't like seen the whole show all the way through. Well, I've seen.
You don't
You know
really
what I mean.
have to, but
Yeah,
like,
I've
it's
seen
yeah.
like seasons and seasons. I know
It
about
does
Seinfeld.
have
I've
through
watched it.
storylines, but you don't like. It's one of and that's kind of where I got into it again, is because I just happened to drop into it, and I'm like, that's what I miss, is a show that I could just drop into randomly. It doesn't matter if I've seen an episode in 3 weeks or not, and that's kind of what I love about it, is I can
That's
just
what
throw
I'm
in a
saying,
couple
yeah.
episodes here and there and not have to worry too much about the last one.
That was that's what. Yeah, because like I can't say I watched the show from every season, but I would watch. You know what I mean? If it was on, I would turn it on and I would watch episodes weekly. Then dip out, and then you come back in, and it's like you don't have to worry about like a 6-episode arc that you completely missed out on. So it was fun. And the
Right.
pimp, I remember the pimp episode. That was great. I love that episode.
I don't think
with
that's
Kramer
this season.
because
That
of
must be the next season then, or one of the next seasons.
Oh yeah, that was a good one. That was a good episode. Yeah, I remember that
But,
painting.
I mean, the Pez dispenser episode is one that stands out quite a bit, and I
Mhm.
can see why that's one of the more popular ones. Because what it's about, Kramer buys a bunch of Pez dispensers from a fucking flea market,
Mhm.
and he gives Jerry one, and when they're George is dating this like piano player, and she's like really good, and when they're at her concert, fucking Jerry puts the Pez dispenser on Lane's leg and she starts laughing uncontrollably. And it really fucks up the piano player. So it becomes this big, huge thing throughout the rest of the episode. It's all revolved around this stupid fucking Pez dispenser. And it's just, that's the show in a nutshell. Right? It's like, and like one of my other favorite episodes, I think it was in the last season, is where they just can't find their fucking car. They forgot where they parked. So the whole episode is them just wandering around dealing with all this shit and all this shit going on. And that's kind of what the show is about. Like one little thing will set off an entire episode into this, weird, just fucking random story. And it's basically that show of all the stories you hear from your friends. You're like, oh God, I got to tell you, this happened to me the other day.
Yeah.
Right. Like that's pretty much the show.
Yep.
And it works. So, and then, like I said, the best part about it is you can drop in wherever, whenever, and it doesn't really matter. It does benefit from certain through lines, but it doesn't, you don't have to have
Like
been
some
paying all that
character
much attention.
moments that kind of inform. Oh, that's the kind of thing they do or something.
Kind of. Well, I mean, there's like little bits and pieces where they'll call back to things from the past, and if you remember them, cool. But if not, it doesn't fucking matter. It's just to get the story going through.
Yeah.
Like there's one episode in the latter part of the season where they're fighting over a parking spot. Like George and this other guy are throughout the entire episode. Well, earlier in this season, George took for a couple of weeks there's a guy who works for the apartment building who just moves cars from one side to the other to the street. Because I'm sure they have alternate side parking or whatever. So that's his job. So George takes it over for one day and completely fucks it all up. So then that guy comes back in that episode in a little bit. So if you know who he is, it works. But if you don't, it doesn't matter. Right. So there's just like little things like that, or ex-girlfriends and stuff that pop in here and there and stuff like that. That if you know who they are, great. If not, it doesn't distract you from the story. You're going, whatever. It's just part of the story now, and it's
right.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the fun about Seinfeld. Is what's a big deal. And if I remember correctly, Tool Time, Home Improvement with Tim Allen was actually beating Seinfeld in ratings. I think on the night they first had it.
This was the season, I think, where it finally took off.
I think they moved it to Wednesdays, or did they move Home Improvement?
Yeah, because the first season was a half season. It was a mid-season replacement. Yeah. And then I think it took them a little while to get to the second season or some shit like that, because there was something that happened in that era. Maybe it was the writer's strike or something. But then the second season did okay, but you're right. I do remember it was going to get canceled. And then they moved it, and they found a new audience and all that kind of shit. It just kind of slowly gained momentum. And the only thing I could even remotely compare it to Friends was just the ratings, because of that era of the 90s, I mean, Friends, Seinfeld, those two shows probably dominated. And besides Home Improvement and The Cosby Show, right?
Yeah, because that's what I remember. I think that's what it was. It was like Seinfeld aired against Home Improvement on Wednesdays, and Home Improvement was actually winning. And then they instead of canceling it, they just decided to move it to Thursday, and that's when you got the must see TV, because I think you got.
Well, and I think it took what happened was
Grace and something else.
Didn't it? I think it took Cheers' spot is what had happened.
Yeah, something like that.
Because I remember Thursday night used to be Cheers night or whatever, and then because then they moved it, because I think what happened was they moved it to Thursday night, and now I'm remembering this now for some dumb fucking reason. I don't know why. Mainly because my dad was an avid Cheers fan, but like you said, we'd flip over to Home Improvement instead of Seinfeld, and that's one of the reasons I didn't grow up with it right away. And I remember they moved it before the Cheers ended, because I remember the trailers during Cheers and throughout that week saying, next week, remember, Seinfeld's moving to its new time slot. And then you had Kramer, and he's like, yeah, we're moving it to 7:30 or whatever it was, or 8:30 or whatever it was. And Kramer's like, we can't go then. Cheers is on. It's like, yeah, but Cheers is over now. And it's like, yeah, it was like this little bit they were doing. And it's like, oh, what the hell am I going to do without Cheers? It's like, it was just this whole little bit they kept doing throughout the show. And it was like leading up to the big finale of Cheers. So that's why I remember it for some reason. So yeah, they did move it at that one point. I think they moved it like a little early, and then as soon as Cheers ended, they shoved it up into the primetime slot.
Yeah, and they really took off because that's why I remember everybody did the must see TV on Thursdays. So and I too love Adventures of Briscoe County Jr., and I'm glad to have that on physical media. But
it's one of those few shows that got killed mainly just because it cost too much. And I think if it would have ran for another season or two, it definitely would have found its audience.
Oh, I guarantee it. Because like when you watch the special features and stuff, like they're playing, because you could tell maybe they knew it was a little expensive, because they're playing like George, or not George, because I'm thinking Seinfeld now.
Well, I remember Fox really went out for that show. I mean, they did a full-on camp. Like, it was probably one of their biggest campaigns at the time.
What is Bruce Campbell? It says on the special features that they were going to make it, because like each episode he's traveling basically to different places and stuff. And he was saying in the second season they were going to have him be like in one town. So they had plans like he was going to be in one town where he wouldn't be traveling all the time and stuff. And you could tell maybe that's what they were aiming for by the end of the season. But
plus it would help costs.
Exactly.
Because I know they were trying really hard. I think it was one of those shows, if I remember, like it got quietly kind of canceled, even though they were like, yeah, I think we're going to continue. We're not sure. We're doing this, that, the other, and it's just. Yeah, I just remember kind of quietly going away, and nobody talked about it again for years.
Yeah, that happens.
Anyhow, I really don't have much else to say other than it is what it
Yeah.
is, and yeah.
What is the deal with airplanes?
Yeah.
Six, since you're coming in, and Rook has decided, since he did not bring any movies or watch any movies this week, he's just going to organize his physical media shelf while we talk. So there you go.
I figured you'd appreciate the Godzilla collection I got right here.
It's not a bad DVD set there, actually. That
I have
actually
not
might be
seen.
worth a penny or two.
You know what? It's a good thing you have that, because they've shut down almost all the streaming of Godzilla movies. Did you guys not hear about that? Yeah.
No.
No, I got these because before. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, other than the Criterion and Criterion Channel and HBO Max is where you can watch. What was it? I think it was the Toho Godzillas, maybe.
Yeah.
But like I seen it earlier. It's like Pluto TV had a channel dedicated to Godzilla, shut down last night at 2 a.m. And a lot of the stuff that was streaming on YouTube or something that they had is gone too. So like, this is what I'm saying here, people. It's a good thing to have your Godzilla collection if you want it on physical media. Some of it may be a bit pricey, but if you want it,
no, I got these. I got these on a good deal. This is like $15 because there's like a sale on Amazon or whatever for a couple days, and quite a few of the movie sets I was looking for or just had in general dropped like over 30 or 40%. So I was like, okay, I'll get some of those. Why not? Why not? And got Scarface to watch at some point too, because I've not seen that yet either.
All right, Tom.
How'd you get that scar? This scar right here on my face? I got this from eating pussy, y'all. Yeah, no, like that. There's like one or two of those movies on there that are complete like hard to find in general. But I think what's going on with Godzilla is that they're getting the rights together. I think Criterion's going to end up releasing a second box set is what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And otherwise, Warner Brothers owns the rights to certain ones as far as like the newer films, the legendary ones. But yeah, that's all. It's the new year. The rights are up.
Yep, that's what it's all about. The rights, the rights came up. So, but all of it right at this moment, the only place to stream like certain Godzillas is the Criterion Channel streaming thing and HBO Max, I think they said. But there was like multiple places where they were streaming them, and they all been shut down. Like with the biggest being from Pluto TV, which had a channel dedicated to Godzilla for like the past couple years.
So they said, "Oh no, he's got to go."
Yep, I guess Godzilla. The rights are up, so they shut it down.
Well, and then Criterion's got the Godzilla versus Biollante coming out next 2 months here and shit like that. So I have a feeling we'll be getting more of them through Criterion is what's going to happen.
Yeah, you're probably right.
And they got a bunch of masters already they're sitting on, although I'm kind of pissy. I hope they do like an earlier box set instead of me having to rebuy all the other ones again, because I was so pissed about the Godzilla 4K.
Yeah.
It's not really worth upgrading at all. So
it's sad. That's sad.
So what do you got for us, Greg?
Excuse me. Okay. It's keeping it on the TV train here, and TV shows that
keeping it real.
Yes, keeping it real. TV shows that were ended early, and in the sci-fi vein, I've been watching Max Headroom.
That's that's totally extreme.
Yes.
As I said, let's see how many 80s and 90s references we can get in here.
No, but I forgot how good of a show this is, man. I've been watching.
I know. I need to pick that up. I've been wanting. I wish they would do a Blu-ray, but I don't. I think that's one of those shows that's trapped in video.
I think it is from watching it. It doesn't look bad. I think
they shot the main stuff in film, but like all the Max Headroom stuff, if I remember right, maybe it isn't. Because they did have to do it old school, so
yeah. I think maybe certain of it is, and some of it isn't. It depends.
Well, because they didn't use computer graphics. See, people need to understand.
No, they did not.
Because CGI didn't really exist in this form yet, and so go ahead and explain the show so people can understand.
Okay, so actually, what's funny about it is what we're missing and doesn't have a Blu-ray is the actual Max Headroom movie called 20 Minutes into the Future, because we do think of Max Headroom as an American, like Americana pop culture type thing. It's actually from England. It was a BBC movie called 20 Minutes in the Future, starring Matt Frewer, who's Max Headroom. But the premise of the show is there's this reporter. His name is Edison. I've been watching it too. It's Edison, because they always call him Edison Carter. Edison Carter. All right, so he works for Network 23, and it's in the future. It's like a dystopian, like almost cyberpunk-esque type future. And so like he's investigating this story, and it deals with corruption and stuff within his own network and what they're doing. And he gets chased by them, and he hits his head on this thing. Says Max Headroom, because it's like with the cars coming in out of the parking lot. That's where it comes from. He hits his head on it. And so they take his body back to hide him out, but he doesn't die. And they scan his memory into a computer to try to figure out what he knows. And in doing so, they create Max Headroom. It's like it's a part of him, his mind goes into the computer, and then because he remembers Max Headroom, and it becomes Max Headroom. It's essentially a talking head that delivers news and information satirically. Much like it today, the company, the news, the network doesn't want him. They don't like him at first, because he's revealing stuff. This show is like ahead of his time, but he's revealing stuff within the company and everything, and he's learning. He's smart. They can't shut him down. They can't really control him, but they end up working with him and everything, and him and Edison Carter and what's her name from the Flash show. Who's in it, who's his side. It reminds me a lot of the original Flash TV show mixed with a little bit of Lois and Clark, the American show. This season, this right here, what I have here is American. This was the American TV show. The first movie was, it's only available on VHS. It does not have an American Blu-ray. But the pilot episode for Max Headroom is essentially the same as the movie, except they changed a few things. And yes, Amanda Pays is his partner, because he's Edison Carter's partner, journalist. And then what's his name? Jeffrey Tambor is their boss in the newsroom. So it's got a little bit of like the Flash meets Lois and Clark, but cyberpunk future thing. But yeah, like Max Headroom, when they did it in England, they didn't tell anybody that Matt Frewer was Max Headroom. They made people believe that he actually was CGI. So they would never put them together in the same thing.
They did that here too, and he was also they had that big campaign with Coke.
Yes, it was Coke and everything. But when they did the TV show, they finally let it out. Here in America, yeah, Matt Frewer is Max Headroom and Edison Carter. They're the same. He's an actor. He's in makeup in front of a blue screen, and they're shooting him, and he's doing the twitches and stuff to make it look CGI. But people for the longest time did not realize he actually wasn't. They really thought he was like the CGI guy. So, but no, it's a great show. It's very much ahead of its time. It only ran for it was a mid-season replacement. It ran for a few episodes, and it ran for half a season, and then it was quietly canceled, much like we were talking about Briscoe County Jr. So yes, yeah. I believe it is very still relevant to today. I've been watching it, and I cannot believe some of the stuff that's happening in it and how it correlates with some of the stuff today, like with the network 23. They can literally tell you how many people is watching it at the time, just like streaming. They know who's watching and who's tuning in and tuning out, like that. Just like on a streaming network. They cancel stories that they don't want the public to know, and that's where Max Headroom, I relate Max Headroom to a lot to YouTube people and podcasters, because he reveals it, he comes on and he becomes very popular. They can't control him. He's telling the stories they don't want him to tell and everything. And he's helping Edison Carter, who's the big top. The only thing that really gets wrong is the journalist integrity. That's the journalist is the hero of the show. In today's day and age, not so much. But it's really great. It's very relevant, and Matt Frewer was great as Max Headroom. And Amanda Pays was awesome. So yeah, I've been watching that, and it's a really good show. Only 14 episodes, I believe, all together. So it's not bad. It's a pretty decent price, but it does come from your favorite place, Tom, Ship Factory. Made this one, yeah. So, yeah.
The directors of the Mario Brothers movie were a part of that show.
Oh, were they?
Yeah.
The new the 90s one, or
yeah, the 90s one. Yeah.
Yeah, I did
That's
not
how
know
they
that.
got the job.
That makes sense. If you have watched Max Headroom, it's very similar to Mario Brothers in the future world they live in. So that makes sense. I did not know that. So yeah.
But somebody in the chat has seen Dark Angel. Oh my gosh! Only if 5 people have seen that, including me. So nice. If it's the Jessica Alba one, of course.
Yeah. Yeah.
and young Jensen Ackles.
You're not wrong, Tyrell72. Independent journalists are. So, yes, I would sort of relate Edison Carter and Max Headroom similar to independent journalists, podcasters, and sort of YouTube personalities. Honestly, if you watch it, it's like, because it was blowing my mind watching it, how much it got of the future right. And how, I mean, yeah, it's still very 80s. You know, it's got all the 80s references and stuff and all that. And you could tell it's a product of its time. But it's just like, it got a lot of shit right. So, but if I do recommend it. I don't know if we will ever get a Blu-ray release of it or another release of it, or if we'll ever get the original movie on a Blu-ray here in America. But I do recommend it. It's a great show. It's a great show. I've loved it. So yeah. But I need to get a new case for this because it's all broken up. I don't even know how it got cracked sometimes. Speaking of which, like Rook was saying.
I think Ship Factory pre-cracks them for you.
I know. I mean, it's look at the I don't know if you can see, it's like cracked there. So it's like a piece of it. Yeah. And like the little pieces in the middle there, like they're broken. They're all broken. And I got to keep the disc. Matter of fact, it just there's slid out. And there's a slid out again. So yeah, because it came like that when I got it, and it's just ridiculous. Ship Factory's, I don't know. So I need to fix it. I've been meaning to fix that case for a while though. But yeah, it's a great show. If you've never seen it, I highly recommend Max Headroom. You can't go wrong with it. I need to get the movie though. I'm sure it's online somewhere. I can download it somewhere. But what the hell was that? Rook.
Oh, sorry, just coughed. My bad.
Oh, I thought you fell or something.
No, I've got I'm getting over a cold. So I got like a deep cough. So, my bad.
I thought that was a sneeze.
Oh, sneeze! I thought he slipped and fell or something.
No, you hear me be more dramatic. You hear me try to be more dramatic. But now a few people in the chat have seen Dark Angel. I'll have to bring that on one of these days. I don't think I've actually done that yet. So.
I've never seen
that in the future. I think it's a pretty good one. It's kind of cheesy in the like early 2000s kind of way, but it had some good stuff. And they didn't make a third season. It got canceled for some reason, but it ended on like a really good cliffhanger. One of those ones where you're like, what? But I think also kind of make a good ending for it, like to kind of fill it in your head. But they did release a book that does have the ending to it. If people wanted to read that, it's like officially the continuation, what the ending would be essentially. So.
Yeah.
I'll do that one of these days. It's rare because that's like an obscure one that I don't think that many people have watched, but in the chat there seems to be a few people that have. So nice. I'll bring that in. I'll bring that on one of these days.
All right. Well, that's it for my first pick of Max Headroom. If anybody wants to say anything else about it, it's up to you guys. If not, we'll move on to Runner.
Almost an hour in. We're only on pick number 3. This is great, isn't it? We're
only on pick number 2 for each person.
Well, yeah, but still, you know what I mean. We've only done like 2 picks.
Because Rook got on, he had a Godzilla collection thing. I brought something Godzilla related, and I got this in the mail too. I finally got it on 4K, and I know there's like multiple 4K fucking versions of this, but Godzilla
-1. I still haven't seen it.
Oh man.
I need to.
That's crazy. I saw this in the theater.
I know.
It's a good ass movie.
I know. That's what I've heard. And I've been
I got my 4K not too long ago, and Rick sent me a Blu-ray of it a while back.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, I didn't get that box set thing because I heard that there weren't any subtitles on this, but this version that I have does have subtitles.
I think the box set, it was just no subtitles on the
special features.
Special features, yeah.
I got the UK Steelbook where I got it even has the English dub on it.
Nice.
Oh,
that's awesome.
I heard the actual movie didn't have subtitles either. I thought.
No, that's the Japanese. If you buy the Japanese one, it didn't have subtitles, but they released like an American type version of it with all the same stuff, but the special features just didn't have
Well,
subtitles.
this is it. I'm pretty sure.
No, that's just like the single release. They released the whole. It's the exact same set from
Really?
the
Like an
yeah.
American version of that?
It's the exact same set that the Japanese people, the Japanese release, except the movie has subtitles. The special features don't.
Oh.
You had to get it on the. I believe you had to get it on the website, the Godzilla website, to get it.
Oh, and that's probably unavailable by now, right?
Yeah, that's gone.
Oh,
That's gone.
that's why I didn't know about that.
Yeah. I know RJ Godzilla. I need to. I've been meaning to. I really, really want to watch it. I haven't got to it yet, and I will. I've heard so many great things about this movie.
It's fantastic. It's so damn good.
It is. I love your story about it.
I don't know what else to really say about it. I feel like
it's fantastic. It's so damn good.
no, like I feel like a lot of other people have talked about it a lot. I mean, Tom's like talked about it a lot and stuff, and rightfully so. It was weird. I saw
I
the
will
movie.
watch it. I will watch it. Hold on, that's my brother. I will watch it. I promise. I am going to watch it. I'm waiting till I get some money in to buy some new stuff.
Runner, sell it as if somebody hated the Godzillas that we've seen so far. Why would this Godzilla be any better? Why would I waste my time on another Godzilla?
Well, it's actually not made in America. It's made in Japan by Toho, and they got
culturally appropriating our movies again, huh? Jeez.
Serious?
Oh my god.
Somebody remind me why we let him on here again.
I don't know if he's just busting balls.
Because I'm the heel, okay? I'm the heel. I have to be stupid.
Rook, you're not helping me when it comes to selling something to somebody by saying, "Oh, we're culturally appropriating something," when it's something we didn't even fucking invent.
That's why I'm.
I didn't know if he was being serious or if he was just being a smartass.
Smartass.
But no, it wasn't. It's not a Hollywood movie. That in and of itself could possibly sell it to some people. And it was going to get a very limited release for 1 week in America, in the States. But because it did so well, they extended it because it made a lot of money. And rightfully so.
Yeah, didn't they also
look at Six sounding like our mother in the chat?
I know.
I know. You boys shouldn't buy anything new until you've watched everything that you already own. Not going to need another movie until you've watched everything.
Sounds like every one of my exes. Do you really need more than one copy of The Grinch?
I do what I want. I buy what I watch, and I'll watch what I want to watch. So, yeah.
And then you explain why, and they're just like.
But no, honestly, like I'm budgeting my money a lot this year to save it for a car and stuff. So I've got plenty, as you guys have seen so far, I've got plenty of movies I haven't really watched. Like I've watched maybe like 10% of the movies I own. Like I've got plenty I can watch still. So
see, people don't understand. I have a plan. I am going to be like Uncle Scrooge. And when I'm retired, I'm gonna have nothing but my Blu-rays, and I'll just dive into him like he does his money.
Yeah, I thought about that myself. To be honest,
I'm not answering that question, Six, because that gets into a whole lot of like. I'm not paying you for therapy now. Like, okay, so.
Which one, Tom? Which one are you? No, I'm just...
You're not finding another movie. You haven't watched the last one. Yeah, I haven't watched half the TV shows I bought either. You know, like I haven't even seen Dexter. Don't know, but I know it's good.
Up
so
to like the 4th season, and then after that, it's shit.
I'm on Better Call Saul now. Still, like I'm like on season 2. So.
I haven't even seen Better Call Saul yet. I've seen all of Breaking Bad.
So far, it's really good. A good sequel series to Breaking Bad. A little different in its approach, of course, but it's still got the same layered vibes that are nice.
I've actually heard that Monster Summer is a good movie. So yeah,
I haven't heard of that one.
yeah, it's with
I
Mel
have heard
Gibson.
of that one.
Yeah.
To be fair, I don't think Six would be like one of those people who would ask why I need so many copies of stuff. She would just probably be pissed because I just have so much shit.
Yeah, I get that.
I've tried to reduce. I try not to have so many copies as much anymore as I once did, but sometimes you can't help it. What can I say?
Look, they keep asking me why I don't have a girlfriend. It's because I have so many movies. But you know what? My movies won't leave me.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm, they're pretty clingy.
If I want to see boobs, I don't have to ask.
They don't judge me. They don't judge me. They don't cheat on me with my friends.
They actually enjoy being watched,
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of creepy, but yes.
That's kind
All right. Where are we at here? I don't even know anymore.
We're at Godzilla -1.
I'm moving on to the next shelf.
We
So
have
I'm trying
talked
to angle
about
the
Godzilla
camera.
-1 like 3 or 4 times now on the show.
Yeah, I was gonna
It's one
say. I just showed it just so I can like tell everyone like, hey,
Well,
I got it.
Well, that's why I was just extending it because I'm like, well, yeah, we have talked about it already. So I'm just like, duh, I'm gonna be a dumb. Duh. Why is Japan taking an American film away
Rook.
from America?
Brooke, I don't know if you're pretending or if you just are that way sometimes.
When I sound like this, then I'm trying to definitely sound like a dummy. But
that's how I hear you. Periods.
It's just automatic.
Rook, have you seen the original Toho Godzillas?
Are you serious?
I've probably seen like 2, maybe. I'm sure I've seen Rubber Suit Boy like fighting some other dude because it's very Power Ranger-esque in that type of sense. So like I know I've probably seen something like that.
Okay.
I get it kind of mixed with other potential ones that I've seen that are Japan that I probably would have gotten at a Blockbuster. Like I've probably seen some of these Japan movies that I can't recall on name, but
Well,
I've seen some of them.
That's fair. There's a lot of them, and I'm only asking him this question, Greg, is because you never know. He may have seen at least 1 or 2 of them. But
I mean, he had a DVD set of it, so
that I haven't watched yet, but that's true.
Are those the Showa era ones?
They're movies of Godzilla.
I guarantee you don't know the difference between Showa era, Toho, and
they're Godzilla movies.
That's definitely not Showa era.
It says 7 great movies, 1 great price. So, it says Toho. There you go at the top. There you go.
It's the Toho
collection. Physical evidence.
Well, Toho owns all of them except for the legendary ones.
I was going to say, because doesn't Toho...
You're just talking the different eras, that's all.
Yeah.
And those are latter era films, which... That's why I said there's a couple in that pack that might be worth something, but I don't know if that pack's worth all that much.
Yeah, if you're ever trying to clear out space, Tom, or FanZcene, just go, hey, does Rook or Runner have any of these movies, Maybe we'll see if they want to throw it away.
I actually have one of those Godzilla movies on that DVD set on Blu-ray. It's the 2000 version. Godzilla 2000. I have that one on Blu-ray.
The best one ever of Matthew Broderick? Everything I say to get like a jaw drop reaction from Tom. That's like, what?
Wasn't that 98 though?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I was gonna say because it's on your fucking DVD set that you have there, Rook.
Yeah, it's not like I looked at it really. I got it and I just opened it from the wrapping while we were talking.
Let me see it on your screen. Point at the camera. Okay, the one on the top right. That's Godzilla
2000. That's where he kills the 1998 one.
Yeah.
That's the one I'm talking about. I have that one on Blu-ray.
Okay. I got you. Out of all these ones, what's the coolest? It actually does look kind of cool. The Mecha Godzilla one and that one, the top 2 look kind of cool. Like just like the coolest of them. Like to be like, whoa, man, Godzilla.
Whoa,
the one with the one down here, he looks like he's got a big brother. He's like, hey man, give me my ball, okay? I'm gonna get you.
Hey, Rook, you know what movie's gonna make you go, whoa? This one.
Was that which one? I'm looking at the screen now. I didn't see a second ago.
The one I just showed.
Well, yeah. Well, now I see it. Okay, -1. Okay.
-1. It's amazing. You should watch these movies, Rook.
Okay.
Oh God, Rookie.
One of
Okay.
these days.
All right, Tom, are you ready for your next one?
I think so.
Yeah, let's go ahead.
How many white people are in that one? No, just kidding.
Oh my!
Oh,
Okay,
Lord.
let's move on. Let's move on.
This is kind of a night of repeats. I mean, we've talked about this before, but I have to watch it in
Gremlins 2.
preparation for a stream coming up. So I watched Gremlins 2 again. It's a classic.
Love the shirt
film.
though.
Oh yeah, I guess I'm appropriately
Oh,
dressed.
nice.
And I grabbed my Gremlins 2 novel,
Oh, nice.
which is also interesting read. It's actually fairly close to the movie, so that tells me that the screenplay was pretty well crafted by the time they started shooting this. What's hilarious though is there's actually a scene in the book that the book breaks.
Oh.
Like the movie, like you have
Really?
the brain gremlin come in and he starts explaining what's happening in the movie, and he takes over the book for a couple pages, and
That's
it's really kind
cool.
of funny. Yeah, but otherwise it's almost verbatim what's in the movie for the most part. I mean, there's a couple extra stuff that didn't make their way into the final cut,
Mhm.
but yeah, no, I mean the movie's great. It's a classic, and Rook's gonna say something stupid in the next 5 minutes, but yeah. No, check it out if you haven't already. Hopefully, we're going to be getting a 4K this year, is the rumor. So
Yeah, I was gonna say, are we ever going to get that 4K of that?
it wasn't on that Warner Brothers list, but
Yeah, I was
Hold
gonna
on.
say I didn't
Feeding
see it on
back
that
here.
Warner Brothers list.
it is the anniversary this next year. So
Well, hopefully we get it soon because it deserves it. I like Gremlins too. It's one of those movies like if you don't find out people hate Gremlins 2 till you grow up, but seeing it as a kid, I never had a problem with it. You know what I mean? I always liked it. So
6 is trying to
1, 2. The gremlins are coming for you.
what's 6 doing?
She says, Tom, I forgot to send you the link. The news story. Kevin Smith is directing a new Gremlins movie starring Seth Rogen. I think it was about time for a Romeo and Michelle reunion.
That'd be.
And the gremlins shoot out of my penis.
Speaking of Gremlins, I don't know if you've seen this, but I thought this was funny. If you can make it out.
that comes out every year, so somebody puts that out. That one
It has an
did it.
action figure.
No,
It's her dad that was stuck in the chimney.
Yeah.
I was expecting them to
Right.
pull out a dead cat or a bird. Instead, they pulled out my father. Oh, don't say Lincoln. Something's terrible happened to me on Lincoln's birthday one day. Honey, we don't have time for this.
Yeah, I know. In part 2. You want a little girl, gremlin with a little vajayjay? It's in the movie.
It's in the movie.
That's being kills.
I don't care what you say. It's in the movie. And while we're at it, we're going to add a vegetable gremlin.
Yeah. Now I'm on to the set of Back to the Future 3.
Yeah. Now I'm off to put some cowboys into Back to the Future 3.
Yeah, but come on, Back to the Future 3. I love it. Oh, man. But
What's
no,
funny is
yeah.
Joe Dante actually addressed that.
I know.
Did you ever see that? He's like, yeah, that's pretty much what happened.
Yeah. It is. It's insane. It's an insane movie because I do believe you got to hand it to Dante. I think he knew what he was doing.
Well,
and like,
it
Go
was
ahead.
it was kind of that, but what it was more so is he was like the kid in a candy store because
mhm.
the first movie cost like $11-12 million. It was a huge runaway success. Warner Brothers did a piss poor job of marketing in it, and it still was a hit despite that. It may have even hurt some of the film in the long run with parents because unfortunately Warner Brothers tried to advertise it like it was the next coming of E.T. And they were even selling it as like E.T. with teeth, right?
Mhm.
Like that was kind of the whole thing going around. But then, so Warner Brothers, as soon as the film was a hit, they wanted a sequel right away. And Dante wasn't against a sequel. He was like, oh, okay, we can come up with some. But nothing they were coming up with was just really clicking for him.
Mm-hmm.
And so he just kind of moved on doing other things like Inner Space and other movies and such. And Warner Brothers just in the background was constantly trying to get this movie off the ground. Now, this is a movie I think like Superman, I'm really curious to look into. It has a $50 million reported budget, but I wonder how much of that is how many versions of it they went through to begin with and paying all the writers and shit prior to that and that were added on to the movie's budget. Although it is a very big budgeted film, and even Robert Meyer Burnett has some funny stories about, you know, the Gremlin vault at Warner Brothers where they had like millions of dollars worth of Gremlins and shit like that. Because they went all out for this movie because in 1990, or actually the story goes back to like 88, 89. At that point, they were getting desperate and they didn't have anything coming up for their summer release to go up against Dick Tracy. And they were remembering back to Ghostbusters and Gremlins opening up on the same day and doing well. So they're like, well, maybe we can pull that off again with Dick Tracy with Gremlins 2. And so they basically just begged Joe Dante to make this movie. They're like, we don't care. You do whatever the fuck you want. We'll give you all the money in the world. He's like, whatever I want. And he's like, whatever you want. As long as it's a movie called Gremlins and there's gremlins in it and it clocks in at about 90 minutes, we don't care.
Yeah.
And what they got as a result was an anti-sequel. And at the time, I think I don't think it failed for any other reason than it was one of the most loaded summers we had since the year before, right? Like, I mean, it was just it got lost in the shuffle of Dick Tracy and all these other films that came out that summer. Even RoboCop 2 failed that year. It was just one of those years, and things like Ninja Turtles were playing well into the summer and doing well. So, I mean, 1990 and 89 and 1990 were pretty good years for films. So it just got kind of lost in the shuffle, and I think it got rediscovered again later on home video. And, you know, of course, here we are talking about it 30 years later, 35 years later, whatever now. So, yeah.
It's a good movie. It's a classic. I don't care what anybody says. I never had problems with Gremlins 2, RoboCop 2, Batman Returns. It's like when you grow up and you find out people actually hated those movies, it's like, what are you talking about?
Well,
they
and
were
the funny
good.
thing, also, I was reading through, there was one difference I found in the Gremlins 2 novel than the movie, which tells me that the screenplay changed. And that is the Spider Gremlin is not Mohawk in the book.
No, really?
It's its own different Gremlin, because Mohawk actually dies early on in the film. In the book, he's the one that gets put into the shredder by Clamp. So Clamp actually kills Mohawk in this script. And so he gets killed pretty early on in the story. It's like, okay, so now I see why they just didn't have him be that Gremlin and changed him to the Spider Gremlin, so he was in the movie longer.
Right. Makes sense. Yeah.
And they could have, it also adds more of an impact when Gizmo shoots him with the bow and arrow.
I love when you get the novel and it has some of the tidbits like that in there, because, you know, where they were working off of like one of the scripts before it was finished, before the movie. I like that. I like those little tidbits.
Like I said, what was odd is how close this was to the final film. Like, I'm sitting here watching the movie and just skimming through the book as I'm going along, taking notes of lines and bits and scenes that are here, but there wasn't that much. It was actually really pretty close. Like I said, already knew of all the scenes that were cut, because there's a scene where one of the Gremlins gets into the air conditioning, and that's why in that one scene they don't explain it, but when Kate and everybody are walking through the one part of the building, it's like the wind is like uncontrollable, like everything's blowing all over the place. That's why, because one of the Gremlins went in and he turned up the fucking air conditioning, so it's like starting to freeze the building. So there's just little bits and pieces here and there that were just kind of cut out and trimmed out and stuff that just weren't necessary. But it's funny how the book is like, even in the breakdown scene, it's like you're sitting there reading the book and all of a sudden it says, hello there, fellow readers, this is the brain Gremlin. And so in the movie you would be greeted by a mother who's upset that her child is watching Gremlins and Hulk Hogan and and all this other stuff. It's like,
that's funny. That's neat how they worked that into the novel. I like that.
It reminded me of New Nightmare, because New Nightmare, the novel, is kind of a similar thing. The author goes missing and then the editor has to take over the writing. Yeah.
That's great. All right.
Back when we used to get cool shit like that.
Yeah, when we got really cool stuff that would go along with the movies. I miss
tie-ins.
that. I miss a tie-in. Like, I was thinking about it. Speaking of like sequels, Ghostbusters 2. I was just thinking about how.
Oh God, yeah.
You got like a cup. I remember getting like a cup. I remember getting I was just trying to think of like all the toys and stuff that
They
came
had a
along.
comic book. This is one of the more sought after comic books. They had comic book adaptation, but it was the real Ghostbusters version of the Ghostbusters.
Mhm. Yeah,
And that thing's expensive to get all 3 parts of that. There was coloring books, there was, you know, all sorts of stuff. The only thing they didn't really have was toys.
right.
I mean, they did shift the real Ghostbuster toys to reflect the film, but
Mhm.
we got a Louis Tully figure and I think a Janine figure out of that. But
I mean, I was just like thinking about that, like the stuff that they would go to give you to go along with the movie back in the days. Like we don't get that. Like you would get like magazines, or you get sticker books. You would get, in some cases, like you said, toys and everything, or like, and there would definitely be like the stuff that they used to give you at like McDonald's and Burger King and stuff that
Right.
would go along with the movies is so much better back then than you get nowadays. Now it's like nothing. So it's just like,
Gremlins 2, that was one thing I think that hurt it too, is it did not have a fast food tie-in.
mhm.
And I think that was because of the controversy of the first film.
Probably.
But anyhow, yeah, no, like, that one didn't get a junior novelization either. I have the junior novelization of the first one.
Oh yeah.
Because there was 2 different ones. Yeah, because you'd get that sometimes too with movies. You'd get both
Yeah.
the actual novel, and then you'd get the junior novelization. Or if the movie already had a novel, they'd just re-release the novel, and then you do because I had the junior novelization of Jurassic Park. I figured that out the other day.
Yeah.
And a couple other things that I read back in the day that I was like, okay, I had to read the other version, not the actual book.
I love the junior novels because like they would soften everything.
Congo was the other one I was trying to think of
So
too.
great.
Yeah. Because I'm like, well, you sure that's not in the book? And everybody's like, no. I'm like, are you sure? Because I remember the movie being, and I'm like, I must have read like because that was one, again, there's a good example of where they just bombarded us with the merchandise before the movie came out, and they had all this tie-ins and all that shit, and it just bombed.
Yeah. It was supposed to be the next Jurassic Park.
It
man.
was. That's how they sold it. Yeah.
It was great.
But no, it's a great disc. It's got deleted scenes, got a making of EPK from back in the day, a documentary, a gag reel, the alternate home video version of the breakdown.
Yeah.
So yeah, the only thing I wish they would have done is I don't know if they could have for the 4K version that comes out, it'd be really funny. So I don't know if you guys have seen this, but some guy went and took and modernized the breakdown
Oh,
for
really?
streaming and disc. Yeah, it would work for either pretty much.
Nice.
Yeah, have you seen it or not?
No, I have not
Because he
seen
puts the
that.
Gremlins
I'm
into like
not sure.
Exorcist and Batman Returns and all these other movies. We could probably get away with watching a clip of it. Let me see here.
Yeah, bring one. I did not see this. I have not seen this. That's interesting.
Let me see if I can find the actual one I'm looking for.
But while you're looking for it, Rook, how you doing down there?
Doing good. Now I'm at the part where it's like, all right, I've got movies that are not on the shelf that I need to fit in the shelf that I don't have room for. So they're all right, where am I going to move them? I could put some behind, but it's like, which ones am I going to pick? So, trying to figure that out.
Oh goodness, you got 6 Thurston right now, Rook.
I know, right? I'm cleaning, Yeah.
Young enough to be my son, but I'm really turned on by watching a man clean.
Well, I know it's a rare sight, so enjoy it.
You can come
Enjoy
watch me do it once or twice a week anyway.
a week. You mean month? No, just kidding.
So this guy made this. We're not going to watch the whole thing because it's like 7 minutes.
Okay,
But he did and I wish that Warner Brothers would just turn around and adopt this.
that'd be.
Because most of the movies are Warner Brothers movies too, so it works.
Mm-hmm.
But it's hilarious. So
Let's see.
picture this instead of the regular version.
Not meant to displace.
He is a problem tenant.
Sir, please try and calm down.
We don't intend to renew the lease.
Just tell us where you saw the things.
Don't patronize me, young man. They're real. I saw them.
I like it. I like the digitalness of it.
Oh, that's great.
That is good. That is funny.
Oh, yes.
You'll probably have to clip this out.
Probably will.
He's gonna torch him, isn't he? He's gonna torch him with the Batmobile, isn't he? That'd be badass.
This is well done.
Yeah, I know. And this was years ago. Like, yeah, this is a long ass time ago he did this.
This is amazing. Oh my god.
This is the only one they'd probably have a hard time getting the rights to.
Oh, the Gremlins.
But it's funny as shit.
It's gotta be.
I'd love to see
exactly
one of
what
the
you
Road
think it
Warriors.
is.
That's great.
Oh, damn, it's a party everywhere.
That was good. Oh gosh, cuties.
Hello, sir. I'm at the Lighthouse Lounge, and I want to report.
Want to report a murder?
Murder.
Wait a minute, just hold on.
Sheriff, look, this time I'm telling you the truth.
Just like that last prank about all those little creatures that multiply when you throw water on them.
Stop going in the fireplace!
That was good.
Yeah, it goes back to Batman.
I love the fact that it's like Gremlins, you know, like they got inside the craziness of it all. Yeah, I'm gonna have to cut all this out.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm sorry. Yeah,
it's good though. It's fun. I like watching it.
Oh my god, yes!
Yes,
yes.
I'm gonna get your wish. This is why I kept going.
That is great.
Electric clubs!
Yeah.
When you said it was Batman Returns, I'm like, oh, he's gonna torch a gremlin, isn't he? I thought I hated snakes.
See, and this was so long ago. The guy who did this had to rotoscope all this shit, right? Like, so this is before like a lot of shit. Yeah.
This probably took him a lot of time.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the one with the gizmo mask. Oh shit.
This is a movie I have not seen.
This would probably be the only one that I did
I think Dante would like this bit here.
Yeah, he would.
I like the one in the back there on the building.
Now I want a Godzilla versus Gremlins.
I love how it looks all stop motion-y.
Yeah, it looks great.
Then it goes right back to the movie. They run away from Batman. Yeah. Batman kicked their ass.
He's like,
Now I want to see what happens to every other movie.
oh, people
With the
will when they
Gremlins.
go back and rewatch this, they'll be like, "Why is there a big old chunk missing from this?" This Gremlins got to it. What can I say?
When they went to action, I was hoping it'd be Road Warrior. That would have been fucking fun.
I don't say boobs all the time, but I do like them.
I think everyone in this panel does.
I'm not so sure about Rook, but we'll see.
I say fuck a lot.
Oh, I say fuck a lot too. Sometimes my friends, some of my college friends point that out to me. It's like, God, you like to say that word a lot.
I try to reserve it for this special occasion. Like Gremlins fucking sucks.
Oh my god.
That is just. Can I boot him? You want me to boot him?
Please.
Boot. Hi, Cindy. How you doing? Happy New Year. But yeah, Tom, if you anything else you would have.
No, I think I used up all my time on that video. So
All right. Well, I guess we'll go on to my next pick, and it's a classic. It's an Alfred Hitchcock classic, and it is The Man Who Knew Too Much on 4K. Whatever will be. Que sera, sera. That's where the song comes from.
I think that's in one of the sets I got because I got the 3.
Yeah, I think the first set. I think maybe the second set.
It's not
maybe?
the first set. I think it's the second or the third.
Second one, yeah. I like get them separate better than
there's like 3 different sets that they released.
Yeah, there's 3 Hitchcock sets. Yeah.
Yeah, I have the first one. I don't have the other.
I got
2.
all 3, but I mean, yeah, I prefer it be individual releases, but for the price, I figured.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. But it's a great movie. I watched it the other night on New Year's, and it's a good old classic. Thriller, almost political intrigue, sort of at a bit. It's got like a little bit of Indiana Jones. It's got a little bit of mystery and thriller and all that all together thrown into it. So it's a good movie. It's a good movie. For those who don't, go ahead.
No. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, it's good.
I was gonna ask Rook how many Hitchcock movies he's seen, just so I can compare to how many I've seen, because I still need to see a lot more.
Oh, I need to figure out what movies I've seen that are Hitchcock.
Psycho?
I've seen Psycho.
Okay, that's good. Vertigo. Have you seen Vertigo?
Everybody's seen Psycho, though.
I've not seen Vertigo.
Okay. Have you seen?
I'm sure I've seen The Birds, but I don't remember enough. I remember it's like I saw it when I was really young, so I remember a little bit.
It's coming.
Have The Birds over here.
Have you seen Rear Window?
No.
Okay, that's my favorite Hitchcock that I've seen so far.
Rear Window is really good, really good.
Rear Window is a movie my mom made me watch, like years ago, like many years ago, and I was like, "Yeah, this is damn good."
No. But The Man Who Knew Too Much is actually really, really good as well too, with James Stewart and Doris Day. They're this married couple, and they have a son, and they're on vacation. He's a doctor, and his wife's a famous singer, and he was at a convention in Paris for medical convention, and so they went from Paris down into like Africa, into Morocco, Casablanca, and stuff, and they bump into this Frenchman who saves them from this Arab guy, and so they get in friends with him, and then they meet this other married couple where they're at, and they kind of all get along, and then all of a sudden the Frenchman that he meets is killed in front of him, and he whispers something into Jimmy Stewart's ear there, and the other couple end up kidnapping their son because it's a big old, assassination plot. There's somebody, like it goes from Morocco and Africa to London, and with Jim Stewart and Doris Day trying to get their son back and stop this assassination, and they can't tell anybody because if they tell somebody, something might happen to their kid. So it's like this big like thriller adventure movie. It's like they really don't make movies like this. It's got a lot of good comedy in it to it. You can see like a lot of what I meant is you can see like a lot of movies copied from this movie, much like many movies from the past. So no, but it's a really good movie, and if you've never seen it, I think if you liked Rear Window, you would probably like this one, Runner, The Man Who Knew Too Much. It's sort of in the same vein.
I think that I'm pretty sure that's on my list. I got a bunch of Hitchcock films on my list that I need to watch.
Well,
that might be my goal this year, is to like associate the directors with the films they make, because like half the time you're like, oh, these types of movies, and I'm like, I don't know what ones come to mind really.
That works for me, Rook. The reason I sort of made that my goal like years ago is like, if it's a certain director I like, it'd be like, okay, I want to check out their other films. That way I can get myself to watch more movies.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Well,
go ahead, Tom.
Well, has anybody here seen Hitchcock's one porno?
No.
What?
Rear
End.
Oh, I should have known this.
God, I feel.
But
let's say a porno back in those days would probably have been, all right, probably pretty classy,
It's a movie about a man's obsession with.
The behind is quite special, actually. So, gotta treat it with respect.
I walked right into that one.
Now we know why Six cannot turn up the volume at work.
Wouldn't be a good idea, sweetheart.
Told you it's all my fault.
I actually have not seen the original. Yes, this is actually a remake. Hitchcock actually remade this movie. He made a 1934 version starring Peter Lorre, but this is the remake of that movie. He remade it. Yes, so I have not seen the original. I've not seen the 1934 version.
Well, so do you think that is something that could be done more, like a creator or something remake their own movie, or is that like was this the rare
normal thing?
Was this a rare case?
Robert Eggers did it with Nosferatu.
He didn't make the original.
He means
Nosferatu.
remake their original. Yeah, no, but actually this used to be common practice. This actually used to be common practice, Rookie, especially when they switched over to from sound, from silent to sound, and from black and white to color. In fact, it's kind of funny is that the stigma of a remake being bad is more of a newer thing. So like, to me, I didn't really start getting to this point where remakes are considered bad until like the 90s, maybe the early aughts.
Like 2000s, yeah.
Yeah, because before that, it was like, a remake wasn't necessarily a bad thing, because most of the time when they would remake movies, it was for a reason. Right, like there's a reason why we have so many versions of King Kong, because that movie, that story idea lends itself so perfectly to showing off whatever new technology we've gotten since the last one.
You jump forward 10 years, and there's filmmakers that have seen films from before, so there's more like experienced world around, or more fondness of film as time goes.
Not only that, things changed also with the video age, right? Like we were the first generation that grew up in an era where we could actually rewatch a movie over and over and over again. Because I brought up, like, when in 1976, when the remake of King Kong came out, chances are, I mean, outside, unless you caught it on television at some point, you'd probably never seen the original. Unless you were older than, 30, 40 years old. Because at that point, it kind of, just been shown on TV here and there. They didn't have video. They didn't re-release it all that much in theaters, especially by that point. So, I mean, there was an era of where, a whole bunch of people who had never seen Scarface, their Scarface was Al Pacino. Right? Like, same thing with The Thing. A lot of people grew up with that being their thing. And that's not necessarily inherently a bad thing, as long as the movie is still the movie. It's when this modern bullshit is the problem.
I mean,
it's
go ahead.
Yeah, no, that's good. If you got to finish, go ahead.
And what was I gonna say? So like the reason why I said like Robert Eggers, the reason why I mentioned like Nosferatu is because I thought you meant like, like a director comes in and kind of expands upon.
Well, that's a
the
good
remake
example
and-
of a director making something his own, but also
Yeah.
paying loving homage to the
I
original.
didn't know you were referring to
Right.
a director remaking something that they did before, and
Yeah.
Well, something like Eggers' Nosferatu. Once again, it's much like Tom was mentioning, like King Kong. Plus, it's a story that's been. Yeah,
I was going to show this off here in a
Well,
minute, but yeah.
because
we'll get. Let me play.
because I sort of
Nosferatu.
Well, I was gonna say it's like because I guess that made me think of George Lucas. I feel it sounds like he wanted to remake Star Wars himself when he had the technology, but just didn't. So he kept on like butchering the ones that existed, and
with the special features.
Don't get me started on that, or Six will freak out.
Yeah,
I guess I didn't mean. I guess I meant like I don't know if you knew that if he actually expressed like remaking them, or he just wanted to dissect it more all the time and Frankenstein it all the time.
He may have wanted to. I don't know, but
I don't think he ever wanted to remake it. He just wanted to show off his fancy special effects.
Yeah, I think that,
and also take his wife's name off as editor.
Yep. Especially since they were divorced. Yes. But I mean, like with the remakes now, why everybody gets so mad is because we've literally reached a point now where there is going to be a live action remake of Moana at almost in the same time period as there's a sequel to the original cartoon. And not only that, there was a remake of the original Child's Play, while the story of Chucky from the original Child's Play was still continuing in movie and TV form. Yeah, and outlived the remake. So that's what we mean by like the remakes, because everything is remakes or legacy sequels or just something like that. But like with Nosferatu, which Tommy, you can get to here in a second, is like once again, that's a story much like Dracula, more based on a book and everything, and it's only had one remake. And it's been the original, the remake was from 1979, and the original, when was the first Nosferatu? Is like
1922.
Yeah, 22. And now it's 2025. Well, it's 2025 now, but the new one came out
2024.
24. Yep. I mean, that's a long time. So that's like, nobody's going to complain that there's a Nosferatu remake. If you were remaking Nosferatu after a Nosferatu remake just came out a year ago, then people would be like, why are we doing this?
No, 100%. And like the reason why the new one works so well is because, I mean, first of all, it's the right director to direct it. And not only that, on top of that, like I've seen Eggers in like interviews and stuff, and like before, when he was sort of like acting and stuff, he made like a play adaptation of it.
Yeah.
Before, when he was younger, and he played.
Hearing that, I mean.
And he played Count Orlok.
Well, you can tell he's a fan. I mean,
100%.
But just before we get into that, like, I just want to say there's a couple other examples of I think both of these are also examples of the same director making the same movie twice. Wouldn't Ben-Hur and Ten Commandments fall into that category? Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. Or the same director?
Yeah, I think the Ten Commandments was remade by
Cecil B. DeMille did both versions, I think.
Yes, he did. I think the first one's silent.
Who did Ben-Hur? Yeah.
It wasn't Cecil B. DeMille who did Ben-Hur. Who did Ben-Hur?
No, the other one was. I'm trying to remember. Cecil did Ten Commandments, but I'm trying to remember who did. Was it the same director who did both versions of Ben-Hur, the old one? Correct me if I'm wrong, Chad. If I'm wrong.
William Wyler did Ben-Hur.
He did both versions too, I think.
So I'm looking up real quick.
Yeah, they're saying in the chat, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
See, and that's what I was saying, is that was kind of a common practice back in the day. Even Lon Chaney, I brought that up when we did The Man of a Thousand Faces a couple weeks back. The only sound film he ever got to do was a remake of one of his silent films. So like that, like I said, that was very, very common practice to remake movies. I mean, it even got to a point where, like, I recently talked about Juror Number 2. Like Siskel and Ebert would have referred to Juror Number 2 as a remake of 12 Angry Men. Yeah. And nobody would have batted an eye. Because it kind of is. But that's kind of the way movies used to be. You used to have movies that were kind of similar to, but then they'd put their own twist to it.
Right.
And so, I actually watched that one recently, Juror Number 2. Super good.
Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah, I thought one of the like most common examples was like The Mummy or something. Was that like they've done so many versions of The Mummy?
Yeah.
Well, that's a little different. That's kind of how old school franchises used to work. They had and Hollywood's always done that. But it was in the 70s and 80s they kind of got to this point where, outside of a few different things, they really were kind of embarrassed by sequels. They didn't like to do them. And sometimes they would even hide that a movie is a sequel without you knowing it until you see it. And then you're like, oh, this is actually a sequel to this movie, because they completely have different actors and, all that kind of shit.
I mean, like the monster movies and like slasher movies and stuff always were fine with sequels because they kept doing them, and they were actually looked down upon a lot. So,
and that's what I was getting at, especially in like the 80s when they would do like the Friday the 13th movie. Paramount was so embarrassed by those movies. They only hung on to the rights as long as the movies made money. As soon as they didn't make as much money as they used to, that's when they decided we're going to sell the rights. Yeah, they
shuttered it. And you're right, Tyrell. So Evil Dead 1 and 2, Evil Dead 2 are kind of remakes. Essentially, they are, because he had more money and he was able to do what he wanted. So, and I think what went wrong with remakes, Brian Bart, is they became so watered down and so common that people got tired of them. And that's why you get to the point where I think you see some people saying now originality is dead. They have no original ideals.
Lazy cash.
And they're picking the wrong era to remake. And that's what I was saying about the video age, right?
Yes.
Is because we have RoboCop, we have Ghostbusters, we have, Total Recall. There's 3 examples, even Red Dawn. There's 4 examples of movies that never needed a remake.
Mm-hmm.
At least not in this lifetime.
They're still freshly rewatched by the modern audiences anyway.
They hold up just fine, exactly.
Compared to like old movies that are older that are probably not watched as often that could get new light shed on them pretty much.
We've also had an era, kind of like with music, where the technology's gone stagnant. We have not had an advancement in movie technology in 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
The last thing that's technically an advancement was digital film or digital, and that was just to help make it easier to do digital effects, really, at the end of the day. Because now we're starting to see, and getting us into Nosferatu, there's a lot of directors who are leaning back into film, actually using film.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because they can tell the difference.
100%. I've noticed that lately, and that actually...
Because the new Nosferatu is shot on film.
It is.
Yep. I do love filmmakers like that who will go, no, I'm using film.
Yeah,
I love filmmakers
because they want it to stay alive.
They want it to look good too, and that's the thing, is there's a difference in the way it looks, the way the light is captured, and I don't think you can make Nosferatu look the way it does through digital. Yeah, you could spend a year manipulating the fuck out of the picture till it kind of looks like that. Yeah. But why? When Eggers, all he had to do was light it that way.
Yeah, exactly. And that's something that's like missing in movies today is lighting. Proper lighting.
I don't know what the problem is. Okay, here's the issue we have. You got people who are lighting shit still for film and they don't understand it, so it's looking weird on video digital, or vice versa. And so because using digital is so much different than, because you can film digital using a match, right? Like there's enough light with a match. I mean, sure, it's going to look a little weak, but you can still film somebody with digital with nothing more than a match light. Do you realize the amount of light you have to pour on something to get film? It's a big, huge difference. There's all the practices and things that they have done for film for the past 100 years are because of that. And now they're transferring all that into this digital age. It's like, no, you don't have to. You don't have to do the massive amount of makeup. Okay? You don't have to have the exaggerated this, that, or the other like you used to, because that's not how this works. And the way film would pick up color and shadow is so much differently. Because digital also doesn't have any roll-off. That's the other problem. Is as long as you have something that has some sort of light on it, it is going to film it from a million miles away. Well, not a million, but you know what I mean, like being hyperbolic. To where film, at a certain point, it rolls off. You can't see, and that's also part of how you get. And that's kind of how we have spent the last 20 years trying to make digital look like film.
I know, it's insane. It's insanity.
It's like, ugh. And the music side of it, though, is just stagnant. They just can't come up with anything new. They're keep using the same shit over and over again. And that's where I think the special effects are becoming a problem. Because now you have a whole generation of people doing the special effects that were raised on those really shitty digital effects that we've gotten. So that's how they see things, and they're trying to make them look like that instead of trying to actually make them look real. And then on the other side of it, you have the AI shit that they're using, which that's also going off.
Yeah, it looks even worse.
So like you're seeing this is why everything, and this is the answer as to why I think everybody goes, why does everything look worse now than it did 30 years ago? That's why. Because the artists that were working on the shit 30 years ago were trying desperately to make CGI look like their physical effects. Okay? Now you got people who are basically copying the digital effects from 20, 30 years ago. It's become a carbon copy of a carbon copy. That's why everything looks like shit.
It reminds me of Multiplicity with Michael Keaton. When he cloned himself and then the clone cloned himself and it's dumber than the rest of them.
It is. So it's like a dumbing
so
down
like
of
that.
it. And this is why I also think AI is so fucked up.
I agree.
Why it can't get shit quite right.
It's so bad
because it's looking at all these old things and it's probably going, that just doesn't compute. Like that's not how lighting works. But it's like, okay, that's the way they see the world. So like it's probably trying to do an algorithm to understand this shit, because that was one of the biggest problems for years. Is there's just little mistakes they used to make back in the day they would never make now. Because they know better, or even an algorithm could have figured it out. But the algorithms are based on shit that's wrong.
It's so true.
It's like putting a decimal point in the wrong place and then just keep going without even fucking fixing it. That's kind of the way, you know what I mean? It's just like one little stupid problem that we never have addressed.
I know.
And now we're so far gone from it to, you know what I mean? Like,
and that's like when you get a film like Nosferatu, or even like we talked about not long ago, Twisters, because everybody was like, why is everybody so into Twisters? It's like when they see a movie on film.
We had like 4 or 5 movies that came out that were shot on film this year. Sorry.
Yeah.
I was going to say there were a decent amount shot on film this year.
When you see those movies on film and then people gravitate towards them and they become more popular or make more money than the other movies being released, and they can't figure out why, because you get that filmic feel to it. You get that dreamlike state of a movie. It's like I was just saying, I call it the streaming effect. Is like every movie now looks like a streaming movie, even for theaters, because that's what, like Tom was just saying, people are becoming accustomed to that.
Well,
so it looks like that's exactly like
is one of those movies, because when I watched in theaters, it looked bad, but it looks even worse now on 4K, because that just makes all the problems that much more worse. And now that's not a condemnation or whatever on 4K as a format. That's more of a, saying quit making your movies like this, because that's the other thing, is they're still making movies for standard Blu-ray. Is basically the format they're using.
It's crazy, because like people are starting to see a difference, and I think that's why some movies are just not coming across as the way they should.
No, and that's a big problem with Beetlejuice, because the first film looks like that's almost a character in and of itself, is how the movie looks, and you can't recreate that look on digital. You just can't. So you have that mixed with a lot of the imperfections and stuff that are showing off like a sore thumb. And I'm sorry, but Michael Keaton looks like he's been put through the ringer. He does not look anything like his original version of Beetlejuice. And you can see all the wrinkles and everything. And I'm just like, oh my God. I mean, it wasn't as bad in theaters. It felt like maybe because the quality was dumbed down, because that's the other thing we're learning more and more so, is that the theaters aren't even up to snuff again. Here we are again.
Yeah, I seen that where they were using Amazon Prime to play.
And I'm not surprised, because I do know some local theaters that will show DVDs and Blu-rays if you bring them in, but that's only for private events. I didn't realize they were doing that for their actual that's a whole nother can of fucking worms. I'm not.
Yeah, that's insane. It's just like when I heard people saying it too, like with Gladiator 2. They said this looks like a streaming movie. If it's like something.
Does.
Yeah, exactly.
Which there's no excuse for, considering how much money was spent on that bastard.
Right? How much money was it? Like $400 million, or
$330 plus P&A.
Yeah.
And it looks like something that should be on Netflix.
No. Here's the problem. And this is how the film was made. Ridley Scott used like 10 plus cameras for a certain scene to get different shots in. And that's
because he's lazy now, I heard.
I know, exactly. He's lazy, and that's why like
One of the guys that worked on the movie come out and said, yeah, Ridley Scott is not really a director anymore. He just comes out, puts cameras everywhere, and then just fucking lets him do the shit, and then he edits it later.
Yeah, and that's why I noticed the editing seemed a little weird when I saw the movie, and I was like, oh, that's why.
And people wonder why I give him so much shit.
Well,
It's because you're Ridley fucking Scott, you motherfucker. That's why. And you're supposed to be coming out here, and it's pretty sad when people like fucking Zack Snyder can make movies look better than you do.
Right? That's sad. That is sad.
And I've been saying this for a while. Ridley Scott should have just retired after The Martian. That would have been a good.
Yeah,
that would have
you're
been
not
a good.
wrong. He should have stayed the fuck out of Aliens.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that too. But he should have.
I still think he was jealous over Cameron, and that's why he went back to it.
I'm
and
almost
even
positive
used
now.
stuff.
And I think that's why I'm almost 100% sure that's why he killed Blomkamp's fucking Alien too.
Mm-hmm.
God, that would have been so good. Oh my god.
Because it was a sequel to Aliens.
Yep. It wasn't a sequel to Alien. So, because everybody pretty much bases everything. Yeah, Alien is great, but everybody pretty much bases everything off of Aliens. You really need to go back
it's
to
been
it,
long enough.
bases off
I
of
can
that.
probably say this now, and I don't think the person who told me is going to. I have a very good authority on somebody who's very close to Neil Blomkamp. That yes, Ridley Scott was the reason we did not get that fucking movie.
Yeah. That's sad.
It was ready to fucking go. They were full steam ahead. And Ridley Scott come in and put the brakes on the entire fucking thing because he wanted to do his Prometheus.
Prometheus is horrible. I couldn't stand that movie. It was so bad. It's fucking Ridley Scott. We needed Tony Scott. That's what we needed.
Right?
What we needed.
Well, Neil Blomkamp, look, he could be a dick to deal with. I've heard some stories sometimes about him, but one thing about he has gotten nothing but a fucking the shaft from Hollywood.
Yeah.
And he should have been one of the guys making fucking Star Wars movies and shit like that. His 100%. RoboCop was going to be fucking genius from what I heard.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
we were deprived of his RoboCop and his Alien.
From some of his other movies I've seen, like, yeah, District 9 was fucking amazing.
I saw Elysium, and I was expecting it to suck.
Yeah, me too. And I
don't give a fuck what anybody says. I actually like Chappie. I get it. It is Short Circuit.
I haven't
Ray do, but I don't give a shit. It's fucking good. I like it.
I haven't seen Chappie. I actually liked Elysium more than people.
Check out Chappie. I bet you'll like it better than you.
See, I have to see Chappie. I haven't seen it.
And people, for some reason, go after that movie because it's really just Short Circuit meets RoboCop.
Mm.
But it shows you why Blomkamp should be making a RoboCop movie.
I was gonna say because like some of the movies I've seen him make, I'm like, I could see him making those types of movies, and he'd be great at it.
I don't care. A lot of people hate it just because of the band that's the two leads in the movie or whatever, the rap stars. That's one of the main things they hate about it. And I'm like, I have zero reference to who they are, so I don't care.
In what movie?
In Chappie.
I thought Hugh Jackman was a star.
I was gonna say I thought Hugh Jackman was in it. And what is it? Sigourney Weaver and Dev Patel were in that too. I think that was.
Like I said, I've never seen Chappie, so I'm gonna have to.
I haven't seen it either, but I know some of the people in it.
Are you guys getting two movies mixed up? I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I don't remember Hugh Jackman being. Oh, I guess he is in. That's right. He plays the. Yeah, he plays the one guy who goes after him. Yeah.
Oh, he plays the bad guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
But Deonta Wood, or however the fuck you say their name, they're like a South African rap group.
Oh, okay.
And they play like the main bad guy. Because the story is they make these robots for cops, is what they are. And if I remember, I was gonna say I think you guys are thinking of Real Steel, exactly, because yeah.
I mean, I know Hugh Jackman, but I thought Hugh Jackman was in Chappie.
Yeah, but anyhow, so Chappie, they rob Chappie from the cops. and I'm trying to remember, does he have, it's been a couple of years since I've watched it. I think he's like an AI unit because he's a special unit that's not in use or whatever because he's not alive, or is he alive? I'm trying to remember what makes him alive. Because he's different than the rest. But they steal him and they end up like, because he's like a child.
Mm-hmm.
So he like learns like a child because that's where it's like the Short Circuit part of it. So he like, so he treats the one chick like his mother and all that kind of stuff. And the whole thing is they use him to rob these places and shit like that. Yeah, okay, he is in Chappie. That's okay. So we're getting the two crossed over though. But I'm trying to remember the event that kind of makes him special. But
I don't know. Like I said, I haven't seen Chappie, but I should probably watch it.
Have you seen District 9?
Yeah, I've seen District 9.
Okay,
yes.
I was gonna say if you haven't, that's
okay.
the one.
Yeah, it is AI.
That's the one
It's
you should
AI.
be watching. That's
he's
probably his
AI.
best movie.
Oh, he's AI in it.
Yeah, but he's like one of a kind. Like he's the first. He's like a what do you call it? Not a demo, but a prototype.
Beta?
Prototype. Yeah. And so they end up
Yeah.
stealing him, and he's like, and they end up basically using him to do all these crimes and shit.
That's funny. I guess he could have made. I don't know nothing about Halo.
He would be perfect for that.
So-
Actually, Halo.
I mean, I've seen the first game from my nephew, I believe.
I mean,
I have no idea what Halo is about other than Master Chief.
Well, I mean, I have a better idea on Halo. I'm not an Xbox guy, so I've never. I mean, I've played Halo at like my friend's house, but like, I mean, like long time ago. But
I'm the Xbox guy, so
yeah, I was gonna say, but like that would be something in Neil Blomkamp's house, and I did like the Fallout series from Amazon, but I think he would make a banging Fallout.
I just
movie.
wonder where District 10 is, because that got announced how
will
many
they
years
ever
ago?
make it?
Because he's got 2 trilogies. Yeah, Chappie and the District trilogy he had in his mind.
I think the Chappie was like a bomb though, so he never got.
No, that'll never happen. What was that, Rook? Oh, either that or we're getting feedback from you.
Yeah, somebody was like cutting out there.
But yeah, so I brought this on. I'm trying to remember. I think that the disc is region locked, so keep that in mind. But this is the better of the releases, and you can still get this one. I think, but the one for Kino is out of print. But this does not have. I don't know if this has the American version on it or not.
That's their Eureka version. Sometimes
Yeah.
Eureka versions are. Sometimes they're.
I don't know if it does, but it does have the correct aspect ratio and correct frame rate, or at least it's better than the Kino one. The Kino one's cropped off and it looks weird.
And when you show your background next to mine, it's just like mine's like just a little tiny corner compared to your background.
Well, it's like if I can find it again, what did Six say here? She said it's like Tom's but miniature. Yeah, here it is. Rook shelves are like the trial size of Tom.
Yeah, I'm Tom's Jr. You know, it's minimal, but looks better now, right? Looks
yeah,
man, it looks decent.
Well there. Surprisingly, but the whole time we've been on here.
Yeah,
but yeah,
there's like some at the bottom that I would need to organize a little bit more, but I don't feel like literally looking through all those right now. So I feel like I cleaned it though, so that's good. And they're not all out of place. Discs are in their cases, so hooray!
But the Eureka has the better. Did you say it has the right aspect ratio for?
Yeah, because for some reason on the Kino version they zoomed in on it. And so it gets a little cropped off, and then I don't either. I have no idea why. I have a theory, but it's still stupid.
Do you think we'll get another release of it now with the new movie, since the new movie's out?
Possibly. I would think it's due for a 4K scan anyway, because even though the version we uploaded is in 4K resolution, it's technically the same version that's on this release here, actually. So, because yeah, there's only the one print that's out there basically. But no, like this is one of the better ones. If not, you can just watch it off of our retrospectives channel. Yeah. Like I said, we fixed it anyway. We didn't alter anything. We just fixed some things that we perceived as being wrong, and then we redid the title cards from the original German translation instead of using the American version, which there was some slight variances. Otherwise, we just that was it. I just did a new score for it because they don't have, even though they claim they have the original score, it's literally just a couple pages. I guess it never had an official full available score. Yeah. So so check that out if you get a chance. But otherwise, the new movie, is fucking amazeballs. It's my favorite movie of last year so far.
It's one of my favorites this year or
it's
last
definitely
year.
a movie for people who love gothic horror, who are into like Tim Burton type-esque stuff. Don't expect to get your typical standard vampire movie out of it, because it's not. And I think that's where some people are having issues and misinterpreting what the movie's about. Because as you even and nothing against you, Greg, but like as you presented at the front is like, oh, it's a Dracula. It's a
that's true. Yeah,
it kind of is, yes, and that's very true. But I think that also gives people a misconception of what the story kind of is, because Orlok is not the typical vampire. He's not going around turning other people into vampires. Knock is not a vampire or anything like that. Like he is a force of nature. He represents, like the plague and death and suffering and all these things. And they really amp that up in the newer version. Like he is more of a presence than an actual character in the film.
Yeah.
Like
I haven't seen it yet, so I can't, but I was
very true.
And it was just brilliantly done, and you can tell that Eggers is a huge fan of this original film, and all the themes and stuff that Andre and I picked up on as we were doing our, retrospective and remastering of the film. I mean, he and I said it both together, like, we're not so sure we could have done much of a better jobs ourselves, obviously not visually, but I mean, just with the story and building upon the characters and elements that the movie's really about. Because it does have a very different theme than what Dracula is about.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the cinematography is fucking stupendous. It's so good.
Because the theme of Nosferatu is more about New World at the time, Victorian era medical and science meeting classic, old school, occult and medieval practices. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm very interested to see it, because I know I would probably like it. I know I probably would. I've heard
enjoy the film.
I can see where I've heard some people having some problems with it, but it's mostly, I can tell it's people that maybe don't know much about like gothic horror and stuff like you were just describing.
It's a classic film. It's made like a movie you would have seen in the 70s or 80s.
That's what I've heard. So yeah, I'm excited to see it. I really do want to see it. I wish I could have seen it already by now.
It's actually way better than the 79 version. I don't give a shit what anybody says. Like, I like the 79 version all right, but the best part of that movie is Klaus Kinski, and that's about it. Because that one is a straight-up remake of Dracula. Like, see, for those who don't know, is they already had a kind of an idea, concept of what they wanted to go with, and Dracula just so happened to kind of be this good way of getting them into the story, but pretty much once you get past the first half or two-thirds of the story, it becomes its own thing in a way. And they never really intended to rip Dracula off. They weren't like going out of their way. In fact, I mean, the lawsuit and everything by the time it all came into effect and everything came down, Nosferatu had already been released and done its run. It was already like 3 years old by that point. But the only reason it exists is because when they did that, a bunch of people made sure that they kept their copies and or bootlegged it for people. So that's the versions we have to this day. And that's why Andre and I, we feel like we had to fix it, because we're not 100% sure, that that's even a complete version of the film. In fact, Razorfist is another person who has a theory that there might be a bit longer version of the film, because the version we have is possibly from a re-release. And when they would do that, they would usually trim the movies down.
Right.
And especially sometimes when they come over to America, they completely reconfigure the movie sometimes. It's actually kind of surprising how much basically Nosferatu was the same film, just translated over here, which was a rarity. But so many copies existed because of that, and it actually saved the movie in the long run, more so not because, really, if it had never gotten sued over it, it probably wouldn't even exist. Because most of Murnau's films don't exist anymore. And it's not because they got sued or anything like that. It's just over time, people forgot about them. They were old movies. They didn't give a shit. But Nosferatu was so iconic, and so because of all the stuff that followed, that people kept copies. So we're almost convinced that the version we have is probably a fan-tinted version from like probably 1950s or 60s. And so we're convinced that they didn't get the tinting right, because we went through and we figured it all out, because the tinting actually emulates the time of day. Andre figured it out mathematically. Okay. And so we had to go back through, because there's a couple of scenes where they didn't get the tinting right. And so we fixed that tinting. That's what we did. And then otherwise, all we did was retranslate the cards, and I did a new score. So
it's good. It was good. It was good.
and
Yes,
I added sound effects. So
yeah. You have seen. I have not seen Nosferatu in Venice, but you brought it on.
I have. I brought it on here.
Yeah,
that fucking movie is like fucking batshit crazy.
I know. I wanted to see it after you described it.
It's not even a fucking Nosferatu sequel in any other way, shape, or form other than by name only.
Yeah.
Right? Like it is more or less just a random vampire film more than anything. Has zero connection other than Klaus Kinski, and he doesn't even look or act or sound like he does in the original movie. And
it's crazy. And yes, I've seen Shadow of the Vampires review. It's a great movie.
Oh, Shadow of the Vampire is great.
I still haven't seen it just because it's like kind of hard to get to, but I've been meaning to watch that.
I break down and buy that DVD because that's.
I actually have a file of it. I could probably hook you up with Runner.
Okay, that'd be nice because my dad. It's so weird. My dad.
I think it is on Amazon, but that's the thing is there's two different. It's weird because.
Doesn't Lionsgate own that movie?
Yes, but in the U.S., I think distribution is owned by Universal, and Greg and I have talked about this a few times because there's even two different scans of the movie out there, or at least I'm pretty sure it is because I was telling him about how the old DVD and the new streaming version or whatever newer streaming version that's out there is framed completely different. I mean, the movie's the same. It's just that they shifted the framing. And it's really weird because the one version seems off because it's the way things are cropped and stuff. Because it was shot in Super 35 and then it was just cropped off for widescrreen. But yeah,
got it.
I wish we would one day get that Blu-ray of it. I know Nicolas Cage's company, the one he owned, which could also be one of the reasons why they have the rights thing here, is like his company that he helped make the movie.
Yeah, the rights are like probably over three different companies. That's why.
And he went bankrupt, and they took a lot of his, So
and it's hard to say who owns it now. I have no idea. I'd have to do some deep dive and digging to find out.
Yeah.
Let's just say there's versions of it out there.
Yeah, because my dad keeps mentioning that one. Whenever I mention the new Nosferatu, he's like, but I want to watch the good one. He's like, and I'm like, what's that? And he's like, the Shadow of the Vampire one. I'm like, I want to see that one.
It
but
kind of is a remake in a way. Like I think I brought that up when I brought it on here last time.
Yeah,
because it does. The story itself does kind of run in a similar, like it's a retelling of Nosferatu in a way, while it's about the making of it at the same time.
Yeah. Somebody sounds like they got a predator behind them.
No, Rookie's got a cat.
No, but I've been muted though, so that's not me.
I was gonna say I don't have a cat, but
just on his vibrator.
It might be my microphone.
Could be.
I'll mute. It probably is me.
No, you don't have to mute. It doesn't happen a lot. Just every once in a while.
Well, I mean, I got a new computer, so that might have something to do with it.
You can hear it now, and it stopped. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I have better connection with this compared to my laptop and all that other.
Is your cell phone near your computer, Runner?
Is that it?
Yes.
Okay.
He went kum. Is that it? You heard him.
It's up top of my.
It's interfering with your Wi-Fi signal is what it's doing. You'll get that little like. Yeah, that's all it is.
Okay, I didn't hear anything. Sorry.
You just gotta keep your phone like at least I think like 3 feet or whatever it is away from your router while you.
Because I bought an iMac Mini and I just had my phone up top of it, not knowing that would affect it. But I guess
I didn't know about this until not too long ago. Like, because I guess it actually because it causes an interference between your microphone and your system or whatever, and like it causes that noise. And it's because your phone is too close to your microphone and or router or something like that. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know about that. That kind of makes sense. The more I think about it.
Yeah, because it's picking up the signal that it's emitting or whatever.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
I just saw that.
Yeah, I can hear it again right now.
Yeah. It's not even.
Look out, Runner. It's gonna get
You're
you.
using a vibrator.
I'm gonna put my phone. I'm gonna put.
Well,
put
he
my
does
phone
have
further away.
Lily Rose Depp there in front of him with the Ratatouille on her head.
I just saw a meme that said Nosferatu or something like that, or Nosferatatouille, and I was like, oh, that's brilliant. And I thought the memes for the new Nosferatu have been fucking insane.
Yeah.
But most
Mhm.
of them are related to some of the more I don't know how you'd word it. I mean, some of them are kind of spoilers to the actual movie, but yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, really, the movie's not much different than the original film. It's in that respect, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it. But check out the Midnight's Edge version of Nosferatu, and it's good. I should share the link if you got it, Tom. Put it in the chat. And by the way, whoever got it or will get it, I don't know. Thank you, Jeremy. That's my brother, for giving a one FanZcene membership. I appreciate that. And just for that, I will say, where's this at? Which one am I looking for here? Yeah. There you go. Appreciate you. So whoever got that, I appreciate it. But here I'm dropping this in the chat. There you guys go. If you guys want to go check out Nosferatu, the Tom's and Midnight's Edges version, Andres, there you go. There's a link in the chat. Check it out and enjoy. Nosferatu 2, Electric Boogaloo. Oh, good night, Brian Barth. Thank you for hanging with us. All right. Any final words on Nosferatu? I'm out. I'm out of titles. So
yeah, I'm out. That's
I have 2 more titles.
Okay,
So,
get them done.
Yeah,
Okay.
go ahead.
One of them is a movie I watched with my mom over, like I think it was like after Thanksgiving, like the same day as Thanksgiving, but we just got back from like my cousin's place. But I watched The Graduate with
Are
Dustin
you
Hoffman.
trying to seduce me? I messed that all up.
No, I know what you're. I know.
Mrs. Robinson, are you trying to
Yeah,
seduce me?
there you go. I
Mrs.
messed it all up.
Robinson. Oh, yeah. You just gotta like
Why
act
do you
all
want me to
awkward and
seduce
shit.
you?
I don't know about this, Mrs. Robinson.
Here's to you, Mrs. Robinson.
Jesus loves you more than you will know.
You know what's weird? I always thought that was the Beatles, but it's not.
No,
It's Paul Simon, right?
Yep, Simon and Garfunkel.
Yeah, Simon and
Yeah.
Garfunkel. I don't know why I had thought it was the Beatles all them years until a while back. I really don't know why.
To the sound
of silence.
But
anyway, go ahead.
it's a good movie. I don't hold
Murray
it.
Hamilton's in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't hold it to the high. I don't even mention my mom that much. I mention my dad more than my mom, if anything.
You just said your mom twice, so take a shot.
I need to fill up my drink. It's not gonna work. But it's a good movie. I think it's a great movie actually, but I don't like hold it to like a higher standard like other people do. I know a lot of people like think it's like, like a masterpiece, and I understand why, but like I think it's a good movie and I respect it a lot, but I don't hold it to the high regard that other people do, if that makes sense.
No, all I can think about is Mike Myers at the end of Wayne's World. Oh, please, God, no! Banging on the window.
But what kind of sucks was I got this at like the Barnes and Noble sale, but I probably should have waited because I looked in the back and I realized that it's a 4K digital restoration.
Honestly, I'm surprised it hasn't been in one of the Columbia sets yet.
Mm-hmm. I'm surprised
it's not a Columbia movie. It's MGM.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Oh, it does say MGM.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah.
There's no Columbia logo or
Studio
anything.
Canal too.
Yeah, and Studio Canal, I guess. Yeah.
For some reason, I thought it was a Columbia picture.
That means Amazon owns it now, which I'm surprised they haven't.
Yeah, I'm surprised it doesn't have a 4K.
Yeah.
I feel like what is it? Criterion would probably release a 4K.
They'll probably do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Rip off of their standard.
And it's same case, everything. You won't even know the difference other than the sticker on it.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's the thing. But I don't know. The it's not a bad like background kind
No,
of.
that's the poster.
Yeah.
I think.
Well, no,
one of the.
Yeah, that's the poster.
Yeah.
Is that like the actual like original poster or like?
So my fucking record album looks like.
Yeah,
Let me see. I feel like the poster looked a little bit different.
No, that's it.
That's
That's one of the few of that era that didn't get a big painted poster. It's literally just that shot. Because that shot says everything you need to know about the movie.
That's true. Well, this is like a crop, like this is a more zoomed in version that's colorized. The poster's like black and white.
Yeah. I mean, it's still the same, pretty much.
But it's still technically the same. There's just little
Still
details and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, we could talk about more unless you want to go to your next one, or
since you didn't seem like you.
They did a painted version of it here, but it literally just looks like they painted over the picture.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say about it. I was more
yeah.
so curious just to. Oh,
that actually the picture looks better than the painting over.
It does in this sense, yeah.
Yeah, his face don't look right.
It literally looks like they just painted it over the picture. Here's a bit of a minimalist version of I've never seen before. This might even be something new, though. I wonder.
But I was just more curious to see what you guys thought about this, since I haven't heard any one of you talk about this movie. But
so that looks like something that somebody might have made more recently.
Yeah,
that actually looks kind of cool
and modern.
Yeah.
But
no, I like the movie. I think it's a good movie. It's a classic. It's one of the classics of film.
Plastics.
That's right.
Plastics.
Rook, you should definitely have this on your list. For sure.
He is gonna fucking hate that movie.
Oh, guaranteed.
He might, but he still needs to watch it either way.
He's gonna be like, "This. Why did you tell me to watch that movie, Runner? It was boring."
He probably will say that.
Based on what?
Based on knowing and talking to you?
Yeah, exactly.
Because you'll be like, I'm trying to figure out what the plot is.
We'll see. We'll see.
I mean, you should watch it either way, even if you probably won't like it. Just guessing your taste. And
Yeah, at this point, I think I'd watch. I'll watch Oppenheimer because that looks. There's a lot of things that look really neat there. This one, this would be on the lower end of the list, if anything. But
I agree. Yeah, Random Brad says, "Yeah, Rookie will hate that about it." Everybody knows.
Yeah, there's still some things like, and here's something. There's even like films that I probably wouldn't normally like that I still kind of want to give a chance.
We haven't even explained the plot to this poor.
I know.
Okay, the whole plot is just basically Dustin Hoffman is graduating
college.
He's not sure what he wants to do with his life, and he gets wrapped up in a love affair with a much older woman who happens to be his girlfriend's mother.
Yes.
See, that's a good. That's actually a good sell. That's like Stacey Ross
like
or something.
though, because you'll be like, it's fucking boring, and
well, is it it's not his girlfriend yet though, right? Like
I can't remember.
Because the way it goes is like his parents, Dustin Hoffman's parents, like they want him to like go out with this one girl.
Yeah,
whose mother tries to seduce him, and eventually he's like, all right, I'll ask her out on a date, and then he goes out with her and he tries to like settle some things, but I want to go over like
Mrs.
more
Robinson
details because that kind of spoils like what happens later on. But yeah,
Jesus loves you more than you will know.
She had to make him a man, man. That's all there is.
Whoa.
And I noticed that the very beginning of the movie, the way the shot is done is like kind of what Tarantino did in the beginning of Jackie Brown.
This is funny. It's like much older woman, yeah. Anne Bancroft was only 6 years older in real life.
Yeah,
yeah, it's true.
Yeah,
it's just like
Mel Brooks
and stuff. Yeah, Mel Brooks. Miss Mel Brooks. Go figure, huh?
Well, that's because Dustin Hoffman looked like he was so young for so long.
I was gonna say, yeah, because she looks older than him in the movie.
Scott Hughes says he thought it was boring. So
I can understand some people thinking it's a time, it's a different time, it's a different era.
Mhm.
It's the kind of movie that would be like a Hallmark movie now.
With sex.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's what I mean, like something like along those lines, or Lifetime,
yes,
actually.
yes, very similar. Yeah, I know, I get what you're
And
getting
Mrs.
at.
Robinson would be the star.
Mm-hmm. And she would be the hero of it all. So
instead of the manipulative little bitch she is.
Oh, Rook would hate it.
Maybe.
All right.
Because it doesn't have any karate in it, Rook. Okay, like.
yeah. Because that's all that I need is karate in the movies, and I'm totally satisfied. Yeah.
No, it's a very
original.
It's a dramatic comedy. I mean, it's very dry. It's very trying to look for the words.
I mean, I like Stargate. That humor is only dry.
It's more of a character study than anything. Like, I mean, there's
true.
no. The plot is exactly what I just said. There's no real plot to it otherwise.
I mean,
it's
I like substantive characters. So
basically, yeah.
When you have it be that he's got a chick that he's interested in, but also the mother's trying to get with him, that's kind of fun. That's a funny premise. So,
that's the whole thing. He really isn't into the other chick. He ends up, yeah. And then that, of course, is where the relationship gets wonky, and that's what the movie's kind of about. But
yeah, it sounds like the opposite of Stacy's mom or something, but he's like, get away.
You might think the premise is interesting or funny, like you said, but I feel like if you watch the movie, you'd think of it otherwise, if that makes sense.
When I say the movie's dry, I don't mean like a dry sense of humor. I mean like a dry piece of toast.
Yeah.
Like,
if you describe it as a dry piece of toast, that doesn't sound good at all.
Okay, we'll probably build it up enough for you where you actually like it now, but like that's the thing, is I'm trying not to like oversell this movie for you, because it is from a different time, a different era. They would never make this movie now. That's what I was trying to say. If anything, the closest you'd see it would be on Lifetime. Right? It's just not one of those movies they would make now. If anything, it would be a movie about gay people, maybe, but
I mean,
so that is a good idea to not oversell it for me. So that's good.
It's not like Stifler's mom and Finch from American Pie, right? When we say an older woman seduces a young, it's not in the vein of something like that.
The humor comes more out of, it's not like, like he fell in love with his girlfriend's mother. Uh-oh.
No, I got you. No, I get it. This is a
dramatic
I can see there being a story out of that, and
it's about the power play between the two of them. It's about
a younger man. There's the older woman. There's
and the fact that she knows they could never have a relationship, yet she's being so controlling, and there's all these other elements to it. Yeah, it's just and he's trying to figure out what the fuck he wants to do with his life. Like that's kind of the other main focal point of the film.
See, like this, you don't understand.
The way it's presented, it's very dry.
So you don't understand. This sounds more interesting to me than like I'm not an American Pie guy that just loves American Pie. Like it was fine, but I don't care, about like American Pie really. So this is probably actually more my speed. I don't know. It sounds sounds more my speed, if anything.
I'm not saying it's avant-garde or anything like that. It's just very much.
It's from that time period. So.
Yeah, it's got like I said, it's a different era. It's a different kind of filmmaking. It's a slow kind of storytelling to it. It's not a movie I watch that many times very often. I've seen it maybe 3 or 4 times my entire life.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I mean, it's got rewatchability and everything, but it's not something you're like, hey, I'm in the mood to watch The Graduate, for like the 15th time.
I like it more for the soundtrack than anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Soundtrack's pretty good. By the way, speaking of like music, this is like one of the few musicals that I actually really like. Yeah,
Did you consider it a musical? Or are you talking about a different movie? Oh,
I'm talking about a different movie. I'm not talking about The Graduate.
I was gonna say, I mean, you could, in the argumentative form of like, the the score is a big part of the movie, and it's not just a typical score. It's the Simon and Garfunkel song.
Yeah, no, I was moving on to something different.
I got you. I got you.
I got this delivered, and it's
a baby.
No.
In my belly.
You keep your money around there. I'll take your baby.
I think we can all agree that the Coen brothers are geniuses, and I kind of just gave it away by saying it's a musical.
Oh, brother, where art thou? It's a good movie, actually.
I am the man. Does that count as a musical too, though? Again,
I would count it as one.
They sing a song in a movie. I don't know if that counts.
Isn't that just like the Odyssey, essentially?
I was going to say,
Yes.
you watched this because of Nolan, didn't you?
No.
It's Homer's Odyssey.
No. Listen, I saw this movie before Universal even greenlit the Odyssey by Nolan. I knew you were going to say that, Greg, or somebody was like, oh, it's because of... I knew you were going to think it was like very convenient and stuff. It's not. Like, trust me.
I was just saying, you're a Nolan fanboy.
I know I'm a Nolan fan, and yes, if anyone's asking, yes, I'm excited for the Odyssey. I'm looking forward to it just by the practical nature of it.
But would you
Should be interesting.
Would you call this a musical? Because I don't know if I technically call it a musical.
They do have characters that break out into song, like the sirens, essentially. Like so.
It's like the Odyssey, and it's very much.
But there's other people that sing in it too.
Yeah, but it's also like it's bluegrass music and everything, and they're in the South, so people typically.
Yeah.
Well, I'd say it's a mix. I'd say it's a mix of genre of some kind because it doesn't fit.
That sing are singers. You know what I mean? It's not like they're just. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Mike. Not really musical, but it has music in it. That's what I'm saying. Like the Soggy Bottom Boys are singers. The only like real like musical scene I can think of in the movie to be like that would be like out of a musical is when they run across the sirens. I
thought people classified this as a fucking musical.
Well, how many times are characters singing like that aren't like on a stage?
Wait a minute.
Like,
so you've seen
Women in the Water, like the only ones I can remember in the movie. It's been a while since I've seen the movie, but like the women in the water singing that they call the sirens are the only like time where it feels like a musical because like they're talking and all of a sudden they hear music and they start following it and they see these three beautiful women in the water just singing. Like
to be fair, I never heard anybody classify it as a musical.
Yeah,
so
I don't know.
I've heard people classify it as a musical.
I could see it having musical elements, but I don't know if it would fit the category. I think it would be categorized as something else with musical as like a tag to it.
Hey, Rook, so you've seen this movie?
Yeah, they showed it in school. I liked it.
They showed it at fucking
I believe they showed it in school.
God.
Yeah. I really liked it.
They showed you some good ass movies in school. What the fuck?
Yeah, we saw Count of Monte Cristo. We saw this. Saw some other ones. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a Coen. You know who the Coen brothers are, Rook?
I know who they are. Yes.
Okay, you know what movies they directed?
I recognize them if you told me, but on top of my head, I don't go. That's a Coen brothers movie.
Okay, I'll give you some. Let me find out the list of the ones I've seen from them.
Just say Fargo. Just say Fargo.
Okay, I have not seen Fargo.
Okay, Fargo, The Big Lebowski.
I've seen Lebowski. Didn't like it.
Fuck you. That's
yeah.
That's a shit.
Of course, everybody loves that movie and obsesses over it. Yeah.
No Country for Old Men.
Seen that. Loved it.
I loved it too. There you go.
Even the ending, love it.
You got a little bit of redemption points right there. Raising Arizona. Have you seen that one?
I don't even know if I heard that one.
Oh my god. How have you not seen that one? That one is Nicolas Cage.
I haven't heard that one.
That's one of the early ones. It's from the 80s, so I can't fault him for not seeing that.
Yeah, but if you want to go earlier than that, Blood Simple, that's their first movie.
I haven't heard of that one either.
Okay. Well, that's a good one too. Inside Llewyn Davis, that's one of their more recent ones.
I haven't heard of that one either.
Not that good, actually.
What's up?
Inside Llewyn Davis isn't that good.
What?
Yeah, it tries to be like a spiritual, like sort of sequel-esque to Old Brother.
No, I think it's good. I liked it.
The best. I like Oscar. I like Tom's playing the music. I like Oscar Isaac's song "Fare Thee Well." I love that song. It's a great song.
I don't know. I haven't seen a bad movie from the Coen brothers so
I never said
far.
it was bad. I never said it was bad.
You just didn't
I just
like
said
it?
it's not that great.
Okay, I don't know if you worded it like that, but
That's what I said. I literally
Yeah,
said.
you said it wasn't that great. Yeah.
That's literally said that it's not that. I never said it was bad. I said it's just not that great.
Hail Caesar. What about that one?
I haven't, but I want to see that because I like Roman type of stuff. So.
And it's also about making movies and stuff too.
Right.
Hail Caesar's pretty good. My least favorite one, but still pretty good, was Burn After Reading.
I bid farewell to old Kentucky.
Have you seen Burn After Reading, Greg?
Was born and raised.
Where he was born and raised. What?
Have you seen Burn After Reading?
No.
Okay, that was their movie.
I haven't seen that one or Hell Caesar, so.
Okay.
For 6 long years I've been in trouble.
I think Tom's bored.
No pleasures here found on earth.
And somebody asked in the chat, no, I have not seen Risky Business.
Oh, that's a good movie.
I'm bound to ramble. Have no friends to help me now.
I still need to watch
He had
Miller's
no
Crossing.
friends to help him now. Sorry. It is a good movie. I do like that movie, actually. I really, really do.
I'm the goddamn pedophilia.
Are you talking about Oh Brother?
I need my Dapper Dan.
I'm talking about a bunch of other Coen Brothers movies, just so I can.
Yeah, but you brought on Oh Brother. So
I know I did.
Talking about Oh Brother.
Fairly well.
Go ahead, Runner.
No, but there's a bunch of people in chat naming other movies. I still need to see Miller's Crossing. I heard that was pretty good. I heard Lady Killers did suck, but nobody talks about that movie.
Yeah.
What's interesting is I watched a clip, or I saw the whole episode actually of when Joe Rogan had Josh Brolin on his show, and he talked about the Coen brothers and like the making of No Country and stuff, and Josh Brolin mentioned like the Coens made like a couple of movies before No Country that didn't work so well, so eventually like that's why nobody in the movie thought that No Country was going to be as special as it turned out to be.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually it became like the iconic movie that some people look to it as now.
Yeah.
Which is interesting but the reason why that movie worked so well was because the Coen brothers sort of just went back to kind of their roots, if that makes sense, to what they did before, because they did a little too much with the last two movies that they had done before that. So that's kind of interesting. Because yeah, No Country was kind of their like return to form. And I want to get that 4K from Criterion that they released.
Sweet.
But Oh Brother, good movie. It's a good ass movie.
Yeah, I enjoyed it even as when I was younger. That's like one I need to actually buy that one to watch again sometime soon because I really enjoyed that one.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
Good little story. I liked how I think at the same time we were learning about a lot of that stuff in mythology, and then I don't know if it was my English class or a different class. Like, it's one of those days where the teacher was like, "Let's watch a movie. Screw it, for a week or something." And we watched that one. It was good.
Now future classes are probably going to show Nolan's The Odyssey when that comes out.
Yeah, I'm hoping that one's good. Really hoping.
I hope that one's good too. Well, I don't know. I don't think it's going to be bad.
Sound is going to be absolutely shit in that movie.
What?
Nolan cannot do sound. I'm sorry.
That's fine. That's a whole other conversation. But like, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the fuck he's gonna do.
Like, he's so bad with sound. So bad.
I thought it was better with Oppenheimer though, because you can actually hear the dialogue in that.
Tom's really bored.
This is my odyssey.
We're not ADR in this shit. Keep it going.
I don't know why he's got Zimmerman scoring while the movie is being made, but
I mean, in actuality, yeah.
Wait, was that playing an example of? Was that playing an example of his bad audio?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, well, I understand now what you mean.
that's
Okay,
the
yeah, that
Zimmerman
sounds like
score
shit.
right there. Here's your this is the score, guys. Get ready for it.
It sounds so angry.
He's lost at sea. On an odyssey.
Oh.
You know it's not going to be Hans Zimmer that's doing the score, though, right?
We don't know that yet.
No, it was confirmed, dude. It's the guy who did Oppenheimer and Tenet. Was it Ludwig Göransson? Or however you pronounce his name. But like he's actually like a good fucking composer,
Wait.
though.
Something's gonna happen. I don't know when, but it's coming.
We get it, Tom. We fucking get it. But it's not Hans Zimmer in all seriousness.
Somebody's got their phone next to their computer again.
Academy Award-winning score.
And then they use that in every trailer now. Every single trailer.
They do.
What's funny is the sound effects I'm using is called trailer sound effects.
There you go. That's what I'm saying. Every single trailer, from a comedy, an action, a drama, whatever, it's
The musical of a lifetime.
No, the trailers are very like, okay, did any of you see the trailer for what is it, 28 Years Later?
Yes, I did.
That was a fucking amazing trailer.
That was good. It was good.
Yeah, it's all right.
It's like all right.
I mean, I don't know why everybody's like saying it's amazing trailer. It's fine. Like, I don't know. It seemed fine.
It's not a trailer that does the formulaic bullshit. That's why.
All right.
Like you gotta give it some credit for actually not telling you the actual fucking story for once, all the way through.
I mean,
because some of the more modern trailers, they just tell you the whole fucking movie, and it's like,
well, I know, but like not every trailer does either. So I don't know. It was like, yeah, they did one that was fine. Like,
I mean, no, it depends. It depends like who's like in charge of the trailers and stuff. Like, you know, speaking of Nolan, he's one of the better ones at trailers when it comes to like not telling you like much about the movie. But there's other trailers that are like, wow, you just told me the whole fucking movie.
yeah, no, I agree.
But was it 28 Years Later does not do that, and it just shows you like brief like shots and all that, and it kind of like gives you a taste on like what you're going to see, and I'm like, I love that.
What about Christopher Nolan's 28 months later?
Yeah, I haven't seen any of the 28 movies.
I've seen them both.
They're coming back to life.
Days is, I mean, Weeks is all right, but Days is like the best.
Like I said, there's no ADR in this picture. Keep it going.
No, that's actually a thing that's more of a problem than just with Nolan. This has become a modern mix problem.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And this is one of the reasons why Greg knows where I'm going with this, where I've actually started watching more of the original mixes on movies nowadays if they have them available, because the modern mixes and when they do even more modern films, there's just too much going on. Okay? Like there is such thing as too much.
Yeah, I do wish that they would like hold back a little bit on what they're showing a little bit. Just
I mean, you go back to a movie even 30 years ago, sure, they had 24, 50 track, to work with or whatever for the sound. But still, even listen to something like Jurassic Park and the layering of the sound there. At most, in some cases, you're going to have maybe 20, 30 sounds going on at the same time. But that's more environmental stuff and all that kind of stuff pounded on. But when you have something happening in the, like, They make sure the focal point of the sound is the action or the dialogue or what have you. It's like they have forgotten this. It's like there's a reason why you mix these things the way you do, right? 9 times out of 10, it does. Most people are not going to be listening to the dozens of other sounds that you're putting into this soundtrack. They're only going to be concentrating on the one sound.
It's kind of like the show don't tell, or like the focus on the most important part rather than scatter like when the screen fills with too many things. Same thing with sounds. Like if you're overwhelmed with sounds, then it's hard to focus on what you're listening to really and to absorb it the right way. So
and a lot of that's spreading into these modern mixes, unfortunately, and they're like, there's a such thing as being too busy and too chaotic, because then none of the it's like, what the fuck is the point of me having directional, multi-channel sound when I've got so much shit going on constantly? I can't tell if anything's being directional. But when I watch an older film where they're actually paying attention to this stuff, and it's like the sound design and the like Galaxy Quest more recently, they translated that 5.1 into a great Dolby Atmos. But guess what? It was already a really well done 5.1 mix.
Mm-hmm.
Because it comes from an era where they were paying attention to that stuff. They knew exactly how it was going to sound in most theaters. Nowadays, they just try to bombard you with so much sound. And that's where Nosferatu and Godzilla are two of the most well-mixed sound in films in the last couple of years. And that's one of the main reasons why. It's because they knew they had to focus on certain things. Like Nosferatu, you would think is probably just bombarding you with sounds. No. But when the sounds are being used, they're very important. Sure, there's a lot of atmospheric stuff like that, but whatnot. But like, just the voice of Orlok alone. Like, there's a reason why I turned on. Like where I do this. It's like that in the movie. I mean, it's everywhere. I mean, they knew how to use the sound effects in this film compared to a lot of other films. And Godzilla was another one that was really great. The Dolby Atmos was like, it felt like Godzilla was walking over top of you.
Yeah.
I think we nailed like modern movies. And like with the lighting, the AI, the CGI, and the sound,
Well, because they're endless. They have an endless amount of tracks now with sound. You can put in so much shit. And it's like, don't over Foley this sucker. You don't need so much fucking sound. I don't need to hear every knuckle crack. You know what I mean? Like,
right? You don't need to. And along with every knuckle cracking at the same time, they're also focusing on all the people in the background talking and all this over here and this over
and
here.
20 explosions.
You know what's funny about that is, for one of my projects, I had to like direct like one scene off of a script, right? And I showed one of my buddies like a cut that I made, and there's a part where one of the characters is chewing off of some chips that he's eating, and my friend's like, why am I not hearing any chewing? I'm like, why do you fucking care about that so much? Because I have other sounds like on top of that. That's like that would over layer that.
Yeah, I mean, you could probably throw it in the background a little bit.
Well, I could, like, and I kind of did, but it's
I
did, but it's not like recognizable.
I think it would depend on the point. Like if the point is like some type of boredom or waiting or things are going slow, and so the sound of the chips are being kind of heard.
I told my friend, I'm like, you're not going to hear the chips.
Right, I get what Rook is saying. Is him eating the chips a part of the scene?
Like if he's in a library and he's eating chips and it's like, God, that's so loud.
Otherwise, I agree with you, Ronan, in the sense of like,
yeah.
So if it's not even a part of the scene, it's just there for him to have business to do. Then in that case, yes, I agree with you. Just bury it in the background.
Yeah, it's irrelevant. Yeah,
but if he's doing it to be annoying, then that's a different story.
Yeah.
Or it's as a joke or whatever
Especially they can see what he's doing. It's not important that you hear the crunching. So
yeah, exactly. It's like I didn't want it to be like loud
because it's also like if you have a scene outside and like you're trying to be realistic, or like even if you filmed it and you heard birds chirping in the background and dogs barking and whatever, you might want to take some of them out, because if you're hearing all this noise while there's a scene going on and music and what, like there's just like sometimes there's too much, and so take out the sound that is irrelevant and keep what's necessary
down. Exactly. And this is where ADR can become important. This is where I say also sound is important when you're making these video projects, because I remember telling you about this, Rick, before, is your sound is in some cases even more important than the quality of the picture, because the quality of the sound will make the picture feel like you're seeing something more cinematic in comparison. Because it's all about that, because the soundscape is what fills your audible senses to the scene, And you're right. If you've got too much distracting shit going on, even look at a movie like Star Wars, the original Star Wars, not the newer sound mixes, but the ones they did in the original. Like, they specifically pinpointed certain sounds for a reason. Like, yeah, there's a lot of chaotic shit going on around them, but you don't hear all 7 TIE fighters and all the fucking X-Wings at once. You just mainly hear the 2 or 3 that are on screen. And yeah, you can have some background ambience, but the music's also there filling the emotions for you. So if you take out that music, the sound effects are probably really it's like very sparingly used in some of those action scenes. Like, if you pulled out the music instead of hearing dun 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 dun, all those noises together, you pull out that music, all you probably hear is nothing.
Yeah.
And they do it really sparingly because they know what they want you to hear. The music is important in that scene, as opposed to, like, other scenes where it is more important that you're hearing the atmospherics of it all, and they'll pull the music out. Like Dagobah is a great example of where it's just got all these sorts of jungle sounds and stuff going on.
Yeah, they want you to get immersed in that environment because it's like a backwater swamp planet that is devoid of all technology.
90s. Yeah, you listen to the best sound mixes I've heard of stuff like Jurassic Park, that era, the 90s era, where they really kind of knew what they were doing with the directional, and they didn't have so many fucking tracks to work with like they do now. Whereas, like, you had to be a kind of like, and you also had to keep in mind where the levels of these things were going to come in the frequencies. I feel like they're not paying as much attention to, or they're allowing the computer to do this shit mathematically instead of just doing it by ear. Because and this is also in music mixing, where you want to be able to separate the different frequencies of sound, because otherwise you start getting sounds buried on top of each other because they're in the same frequency. Right. And that's another problem and it gives you a phasing effect. And I've noticed a lot of that in films lately too, where they're not paying attention to how the music is being balanced with the other audio things. And that's where I think Nolan is getting some of the dialogue lost in his audio. Is whoever's doing his sound mixes is not paying attention to a lot of that stuff.
And Rookie got bored and just left.
Yeah, I think he just had a chip on it.
Yeah, yeah. Check on some.
That or his computer checked out, I meant. But yeah.
Yeah. But no, I agree. Yeah, I think that's where Nolan is getting lost in his sound as well. But you're right. You're completely right. But where were we? What do we do? Yeah,
we're done. I think we're done.
We're done?
I think we're done, yeah.
We're done? All right. Well,
we're
then
at 3 hours. Fuck it.
Yeah, 3 hours. It's been a while since we've done a 3 hour.
It's been a while.
Yeah, because it's basically been me and Tom and occasionally Steven lately. So, but I appreciate you guys. Thank you all for hanging with us, and everybody in the chat, everybody at home, Rookie, Runner, Tom. I appreciate you guys. Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Oh, he popped in just as we were saying goodbye.
No, I'd work. I had a coworker call. So I was like, oh shit.
Oh, he's still on dial-up, kids.
Well, it's like I answered the phone, but then I could still hear Tom, and I'm like, "Oh crap! There's 2 voices now, and I can't hear what anybody's saying." So,
okay, gotcha.
Yeah. The one day I'm not working, right? But they still need me to talk to sometimes.
Mom, I'm going to be playing a game tonight. Stay off the phone.
Yeah.
I got pictures. I mean, games to look at. Thanks, Rook. Thanks, Tom, Runner, everybody out there in chat again. Once again, Happy New Year to everybody. May your 2025 be something,
Yeah. Right. Neat. Yeah.
Yeah. And as always, you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
How you doing? Bitches leave.